We up, Carl?
Stand by.
Those are cool.
You are
Those are cool.
live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to tonight's 710 ESPN Watch Party. We're getting ready for the return of basketball. Brian Kamenetzky here, Andy Kamenetzky on the other side. And Andy, it's only been, like 4 months or something since we had to talk
It's
about.
been 4 months, 4 years, 4 decades. Time anymore. If you could tell me that I've been waiting since like 1974 for
We're waiting on the Lakers. Lakers are obviously set tonight to play the Clippers. And they're the second of the TNT quarter, and the Pelicans have blown a gigantic lead, which is good news for the Memphis Grizzlies. These games are really important, obviously, for Lakers fans who want to see who they're going to play in the first round of the playoffs. Right now, it's Memphis, but New Orleans needs every win they can get to get themselves into that playoff game. Blowing a big lead doesn't help them.
Well, I mean, this is where you see, I think, the collective inexperience of the Pelicans, because I mentioned Bojan Bogdanovic, and they were looking like the less collectively talented team tonight. But this is going to be something interesting to see. Can the Pelicans close out a lead? Like, can they deal? Ooh, Josh Hart, or no? I'm sorry, JJ Redick.
Legends Never Die hoodie.
These things are awesome.
I got here.
That is
Legends Never Die.
Yes, yes.
Sweatshirt on right now. It looks better. It looks better not on a webcam.
I got one for my daughter. Yeah, I got one for my daughter. She absolutely
controlled by somebody who knows how to aim a webcam. So we'll be doing all that stuff throughout the games. So stick with us. We've got, what do we got here? We've got, we want to thank our listeners. A minute and a half left in this one. I don't know exactly how fast they'll roll into the next one, Lakers Clippers, but it's gonna be fun.
This is gonna be so great. This is gonna be fantastic. I mean, been waiting for this for a while.
And what's cool about it too, Andy, is it seems like I'm kind of glad we're not doing a baseball watch party, because I'm not sure we're getting to the end of baseball.
No.
I'm glad we're not doing an NFL watch party right now. I'm not sure we're going to get to the end of the NFL. The NBA has done a great job. So I feel fairly confident that this thing that they've started in Orlando is going to get to the end. And if it does, the Lakers have a really good chance to be the team that wins. Hold on. I think I'm getting pizza.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're not all the way there yet. There's still a lot that has to happen and go right in Orlando with this bubble. But so far, so good. But also, I think the idea that we're seeing the bubble working for the NHL, that we're seeing it work, after a bit of an initial scare with MLS, it's working. We're seeing it work with the NHL. We're seeing it work with leagues that have done this. Like the leagues that have gone to try to create this type of setup, it's actually working. And, again, we cannot get ahead of ourselves. We can't say that this is a success yet, but, and it's going to get a little more complicated as, outside family, people like that. Donovan Mitchell at the line right now, 48 and a half seconds left, putting up Utah by a point, 103-102. But so far what we're seeing, as opposed to baseball, which didn't even get through its opening weekend without a disaster. I mean, the Marlins have, I believe it's 17 players.
Sorry, the baby disconnected my connection here. Now she's going after our pizza.
Oh, well, I mean, she's a baby. She doesn't know any better.
Babies like pizza. As the old saying goes, everyone, babies love pizza.
Hi.
It is. It's a saying, absolutely.
Can you say Uncle Andy? Can
Great
you
saying.
say Uncle Andy? Hey, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, getting after that pepperoni. Pizza Hut providing tonight's pizza. Really excited to have them sponsoring tonight's show.
Yes.
Many thanks to our
Yes,
friends
indeed.
at Pizza Hut. Thanks to our friends at Valvoline. Get out of the pizza, baby.
She's just a baby. She doesn't know. She doesn't know.
Everyone loves pizza.
They do. By the way, my family, it's interesting because yours is on full display there. My niece and nephews. My family has said from the beginning they do not want to be on camera. They were very adamant about this. So we're going to have to station the food and such in a way that they'll be left out of it.
That's up to you guys.
Hey, buddy.
There goes one of them right there.
Hey, buddy.
And you can clearly see himself. So
That's radio star Ethan.
That is radio star Ethan. That's right.
This is Ethan's wheelhouse.
One of the other ones a little more camera shy, and the baby doesn't know the difference. How's the pizza, buddy?
Great.
Ethan gives it a good review. So thanks to the folks at Pizza Hut.
I believe mine's here right now. I shall.
Okay, you go. So about a minute left in this one. I think the worst thing that can happen right now for Lakers fans would be overtime. Like, as long as Lakers fans have waited for this to come back, to have to deal with overtime right now, I think would be a form of torture that nobody particularly wants. So let's get a conclusion and regulation for this. And it looks like the Pelicans are going to have a chance to take a lead here as Brandon Ingram is fouled going to the free throw line. And watching Ingram's had a nice game tonight. And let's see whether get some updated stats here. 21 points, 8 rebounds for Brandon Ingram. Shooting percentage has gone down in the second half. But he's played pretty well tonight. And this is the first playoff. This is sort of there's an Earth 2 experience somewhere where Lakers fans are watching these guys play for the Lakers in their first playoff experience, whether it's him or Lonzo or Josh Hart or any of these guys. So to see them play well is pretty cool. And now Josh Hart coming back in the game. Hey, Ben. Pizza, thumbs up. What are you thinking? Thumbs up for Pizza Hut from the family. That is a quality review because children will tell you. And he goes, we also got the fancy stuffed crust pizza that has the cheese inside the crust if you want to try it. What do you think about that? How's that for technology put to good use? Pizza innovations. So 104 apiece with 30 seconds left in this game going to timeout. We have Lakers fans are going to have to wait. It's kind of a bummer. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat room right now. Corey Anderson, Janelle Munoz, serious torture. Come on, let's get going. Cameron Porter, nice pull, Cameron. Where's the emos? Cameron knows where we're from. We're from St. Louis, and of course the famous Emos Pizza. You can take that off if you want. Yeah. So yeah, Emos is a very St. Louis pizza. Debbie Tran points out 141 days since no basketball, and so this is not fair. This game was scheduled to start a little after 6 o'clock. There's still 30 seconds left, and the game is now tied, meaning it's going to take a little while for the Lakers to actually get a chance to play. I don't know how they do this, though. Obviously, in normal times, this game would be taking place in LA, and so you can start it while this one's finishing, and they'll hold the house a little bit on TNT for a little while, but then go ahead and start. I don't know exactly how they're doing this. It says it may begin on NBA TV. So if you're watching at home or you're trying to figure out where to find the Laker game, you might want to check NBA TV. It could be there. Toasted ravioli and Provel bites. Oh, yeah. Toasted ravioli is delicious. We, of course, invented virtually every type of delicious food in St. Louis. We invented toasted ravioli. We invented the ice cream cone. I believe we invented the hamburger. We invented gooey butter cake. All sorts of things. So let's see if we can get a bucket here from somebody. Utah's got the ball. Conley drives, misses, gets his own rebound. Utah's going to have a chance to win in regulation. Take the final shot. Shot clock's off. How about a winner from Donovan Mitchell so we can get our game going? Rudy Gobert is hacked. So with 7 seconds left, Rudy Gobert is going to have a chance to put Utah ahead and actually put this game potentially to bed. Cameron Porter, are you actually from St. Louis? Because you have some serious local knowledge. All right. We do not want overtime. Gobert makes the first free throw. This is moving along nice, of course. I think the ideal circumstance here is Gobert misses the second one. New Orleans calls timeout, and then they either win or lose on the final possession because a 2-point game, of course, they could tie it up with a bucket, and then it goes into overtime. And we don't want any kind of delay. Hopefully the Lakers would still start, but they would hold a little bit. Gobert hits the second one. New Orleans calls timeout, and now we've got a little more time to kill. No, Cameron, you don't get the – okay, Cameron went to high school in St. Louis. Gooey butter cake from Schnucks is fine, but it's the sort of thing your mother should make. So we put out a poll the other day, Andy and I did, on the late night happy hour, which of course you can tune into tonight at 10 o'clock. It's weird. I have to say it's very strange. The last time we did this, nobody was in the house really watching me. And now the entire family is circulating around, and it is strange. There's one of them right there. You have anything to say about Lakers Clippers, Ethan?
Good luck.
All right, thank you. Gracie, do you have any? How's your pizza, Grace? The baby's here. My wife is over there. Kids are eating. They're all excited. How'd it go, Andy?
Hey, now this, am I doing this correctly?
No. Are you trying to show us your pizza?
Yes, I'm trying to show the plate, and
They're sort of. No.
this is difficult to do.
There you go.
Thank you, Pizza Hut. Excellent.
So there's a plate.
The food, the pizza, the wings, the everything is better than my ability to frame it.
There we go.
It's all better than my ability to actually do that. All right, let's get back to business
Very
now.
good. All right, this game is over. The New Orleans does not convert on their final opportunity. The game is over, and the Lakers Clippers will be starting momentarily. That, of course, is the main event. Clippers tonight playing without Lou Williams. He is quarantining due to chicken wings, and no Montrezl Harrell, who's still
DNP lemon pepper.
DNP lemon pepper, and then Montrez it's more of a family situation, I believe, with Montrez.
Yeah, I don't believe he's even back in the bubble yet.
No, I don't think so either. So, and then one more player that I thought was also out, and I forget who.
Well, no, Patrick Beverly is going to play.
Okay,
it was not determined till today, but Patrick Beverly actually is going to be available. So the Clippers have, I believe, everybody but Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams, but obviously that's
a big but.
Well, that's their whole second unit. I mean, that
Right.
changes the entire complexion of how their reserve group operates, man. That's a big deal.
So it looks like they've gone to the horn. All right, so Andy,
salute everybody.
Yeah, it looks like here we go. Starting lineups. I want to watch what they do here because this is
yes, yeah, for sure.
If you're not watching at home, they're showing a video right now on the broadcast. tied to Black Lives Matter.
You're seeing a bunch of different NBA athletes at protests talking about what this moment means to them.
We need to change people's hearts. It's a mindset. It's going beyond just what we see on camera. Enough is enough. This means too much for all of us. And this moment is big. It's a lot. To be in this situation today, the same situation we was in 5 years ago, the same situation we was in 10 years ago, and so on and so forth. It's just an ongoing cycle. We will not get behind. It's taken a very long time to get this sort of momentum going, and it can't be lost. There's so much to change. Discrimination, profile, these things have to stop. We will not end up. I will never be silent over distraction. We can still play basketball, but at the end of the day, social justice has to begin. We will turn pain into progress. We're far away from together.
Yes.
This moment in time, our country's not going to go back to normal. Like, there's going to be a new normal. And right now, for me to decide what that normal is going to be. Do we want our lives to be valued as much as everybody else? No, we don't think that we're better. We want to be teammates. And, at this point, we haven't. I don't care what happens as far as these games or life coming back normal or not. Things aren't going to change until we sort of make them change. And we will make change.
Tonight's presentation of our national anthem has been recorded and sung by a transformational youth organization in the African American community, the Compton Kids Club.
So, LA group singing the national anthem, and all the players and all the coaches are taking the knee. So
all the players are locked arms. They're all wearing short sleeve shirts. They Black Lives Matter. Everybody is kneeling. Obviously, you can see the impact of the moment. You can see that this really means something to the players involved. Frank Vogel is wearing a shirt or a pullover that says
they've been wearing the buttons. Coach, they've been wearing those all week. This is the coach for racial coach.
Yes.
Excuse me, coaches for racial justice.
Yes.
So the anthem's over, and very cool, sort of detail there to have a local.
I was just about to say the exact same thing.
LA youth choir. I don't know exactly the right.
It was I believe specifically Compton.
Yeah, but to have that for the Lakers versus Clippers, obviously, an LA versus LA game. Hey man, how you doing? Good. Oh, good.
Very well.
Hey Kevin, what's the delay? I know there is one.
Give us an idea of how far behind we are.
I want to say, I don't know. But in the meantime, I got to run and grab run on power on my computer. Be right back.
Okay. All right. I will be here. If someone can give us an idea of how far we are, and I don't know exactly how that would happen. According to Cameron Porter, we're about 15 seconds behind. We will do our best to address that. Try to handle it. Sort of try to get an idea for how it's going as it goes. But figuring this out as we go. But it's going to be fun either way. I mean, the build up to this point, man. Just we've all waited for so long. I mean, there's so much real life problems. There's a real life situation that all of us are dealing with. This this pandemic that has literally turned the world upside down. And, the prospect of the bubble has gone from everything that's, it's ranged from feeling fantastical, like, this idea that seemed far-fetched, to, I think, to some people, cynical, the idea that you would even attempt to do this, to now looking like it actually, fingers crossed, we are early on and we cannot take anything for granted, but like that it's actually going to happen. The build up to where we are now, it's really exciting to see. And, it speaks to, what can happen if people really plan things well, but also too, it speaks to how complicated it's going to be in a lot of ways to put on sports like this, or to just to keep ourselves societally safe is going to be quite the undertaking. If in a weird way, with the bubble holding up will be something that I think can bring a lot of people hope, but could also make things seem pretty daunting. I mean, it just speaks to what we're trying to deal with right now and what we're all trying to get through, as a planet.
I sense that you guys were talking about more important things than what I was doing when I went to get a slice of pizza.
Yes. Although, pizza is important, but yes, we were talking about things that were in fact more important. I was saying, Brian, that like the bubble so far, knock on wood, fingers crossed, is holding up, and the plan seems to be working. And what I was saying about it was that on one hand, it can provide a sense of hope in terms of, what can happen if really smart, serious people set out to do something and really cross, all the T's, dot all the I's. But on the flip side, it speaks to what is necessary, the undertaking required in order to make it happen. Like, it's both inspiring and daunting at the same time.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about like sort of just the broad return of sports, it is, I think.
No, I'm talking about sort of like the broad return to humanity.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, if this is what it requires to keep, spread at basically zero, obviously, these are very difficult things to do in society at large. But even, something sort of
somewhere in between the bubble and where we are now
is still a lot.
Yes, yes, it is.
We've seen the failure of what happened with baseball already. Not just Marlins, but also the Phillies now. Hey, Alex, how are you?
What's up? How you doing?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Good, man. You excited to have this?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, it doesn't feel like a big deal since they're missing like the key bench players, but a win is a win.
Well, I mean, let's get the win first before you start talking about what it meant. Let's at least tip off. Let's at least tip off before we say this thing's in the bag.
Yeah.
But, the thing about this, though, that I think is significant for the Lakers is as much as they're already, the odds favor them retaining that number one seed.
Right.
If they win this game, it's essentially a wrap.
Right.
It is essentially a wrap at that point because the Clippers are the team chasing them. And once you have that locked up, to whatever degree it actually matters to Frank Vogel, he from there gets so much more freedom to experiment, tinker with different looks. knowing that it doesn't matter at all. Like,
Yeah, we definitely want to see that. I mean, we want to see J.R. Smith and what's his name, crack the rotation, you know. So, I mean,
Dion Waiters.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, we'll see.
So you are the second, right? We got our stuff a little bit mixed up. Second fan Friday winner. Introduce yourself to the group here.
Please do.
Oh yeah. My name is Alex, and I mean, how many people you got? It's only us right now.
There's the three of us right now.
It's three of us.
And all of America.
Yeah, I had no idea how this was gonna happen, man. I thought they had everybody on at the same time.
No, they call that chaos, Alex. we're not doing that. Like, if everybody's coming on at once, I'm ducking out. That's my. Well, where do you live, man?
I'm right here in Inglewood, right next to the airport.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah,
very cool.
Down the street from the farm.
How long have you been a fan?
Oh man, I remember my dad putting on games when I was about 5, 6, and ever since became a fan, man. I remember D-Box on the team back then, and just fell in love, man.
All right.
Yep.
Danny Green,
Early
looking like Danny Green.
My thing is, why are we always getting on coups about that third player to score when my concern is more with Danny Green? I mean,
because Danny Green's not supposed to be, he's supposed to be a shooting threat, not a scoring threat. If that he's not a guy who creates offense that you run an offense through. He's a guy that supplements your offense with 3-point shooting. So, what matters? It's not so much how many points Danny Green gets; it's what percentage he shoots three. And so to see, he has not been every year that they hoped he would be throughout the year.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty mediocre, man. This season.
Him hit his first shot there is actually really encouraging.
Right. Yeah, I like seeing that during the scrimmage. I saw him hit some shots in the game, so that was encouraging.
Well, I mean, he's also. I mean, Danny Green has been known for being streaky his whole career. Like the way he shot in Toronto, that type of consistency is a bit more of an outlier. As much as Danny Green is a proven shooter, he was incredible last year. I think he shot 45% from three last year.
Well, that's exactly why it stands out to me, because of the great year he had with them. I mean, on that championship run. But
offensive foul.
It hasn't been that.
He's been good defensively, though. He's done a good job defensively.
One of the most interesting things about this matchup is always who guards Kawhi. We see Danny Green there. The Clippers don't really have a great answer. Lakers don't have a great answer for who guards Kawhi. I'm curious how much really put into this game. The Clippers don't have to do a ton of work to keep themselves at 2 or 3. The Lakers are going to do. So, how's your family? How's everybody holding? As we hear on TV,
How's the quarantine saying? Right now going?
I was just seeing how you and your family were hanging in there these days.
Yeah, everybody's good right now, man. My girl works for a bank, so she basically hasn't had any time off ever since the epidemic started. And I work at a school, so my hours obviously got cut. But yeah, man, everybody good, everybody's safe.
That's good, man. I'm really happy to hear that. Obviously, what matters most.
Right.
But it's go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say, so before we let you go, how confident were you before all of this happened that the Lakers could go win the title? Given they just beat Milwaukee, just beating the Clippers, and then this stuff all happens. How confident were you then? How confident are you now?
Oh man, I was in cloud nine when that happened. I mean, it was a great weekend. I'll never forget that weekend, man. We were rolling, but I'm still confident. We still got the same players, losing Brown hurts, but I mean, just looking at the pregame right now, you see LeBron looks focused, man. He's ready, dude. He was like one of the few players with his head up during the anthem, like he is. Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Well, it's early in the first quarter. Basketball is back. Lakers versus Clippers. And Alejandro Perez, Alex, thanks so much. You are our one of our Fan Friday winners. Really excited to have you win. Really excited that you listen to the station. I would imagine you're excited to have basketball. My thing needs to stay put.
Of course. Yeah, do you guys?
In front of us right now, man.
I mean, you guys are working at 10 o'clock. You guys are doing the morning show. You guys coming from Mason Island. You guys work on Saturdays. Like, do you guys get any sleep at all?
Not much. Not much.
Sleep when we're dead, Alex.
Yes. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you being here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Take care.
By the way, to our friends at Pizza Hut, Pizza Hut Kitchens safely open serving large pizzas with 3 toppings for $9.99. Order delivered and carry out at pizzahut.com.
I recommend the wings. Wings are the rage right now, Brian. You may have heard.
No. You get your. I don't know. Do they do lemon pepper there?
They do lemon pepper.
It would be a timely addition to add lemon pepper.
You know what they actually? I didn't know this until I was perusing the menu, and I didn't get it, but I really did debate it. They do lemon pepper fries, which I'd actually never heard of before. But that sounds good.
Seasoned fries. I have a thought, but I can't say it out loud right now.
Mm-hmm. But specifically, though, lemon pepper fries. I'd never heard of that before.
Oh yeah, you can fry up anything with a good lemon pepper sauce. Early in the game, we're about 2.5 minutes in. There have been 8 points scored, 9 now with AD with a free throw. Not surprised to see a little bit of a slow start to this one in terms of teams getting up and down the floor. This process for both of these teams, as high profile as they are, we're looking at they're showing a bunch of guys from other teams watching. Mm-hmm. The Lakers don't really need these games for the standings. The Clippers need to be a little bit careful, but not, they don't have to panic about stuff, because there's no difference between a 2 and a 3 seed.
Unless you care specifically about your matchup.
Right, but you don't know what that's going to be because there's so much wiggle room at the bottom of the conference.
They may start caring though as the thing goes on. Like they may not care now, but by game 6 or 7, all of a sudden they may start caring.
But you can't know that now.
You can't.
Kind of what I'm getting at. So, the team you want might actually be a 6 seed instead of a 7 seed. So maybe you feel like you'd rather play that team. You're better off falling down. The Lakers are going to get the 8th seed, no matter who that seed is. And so for them, all it is get through this healthy and, see what you can do. That's it. Yeah. So you're going to see a lot of Markieff Morris, who's in the game now. You're going to see a lot of or was he still in the game or did they just take him out? But Markieff was in the game. You're going to see a lot of, I think, Dion Waiters. You're going to see some J.R. Smith. And Frank Vogel's talked about, they're going to find out. Yeah, Morris was in and now he's out again. But they're going to find out what these guys do because the combinations matter.
Yeah.
It's not just how well Dion plays, but you need to know, okay, if Dion's playing well, which guys can you put around him, that work offensively, work defensively, because Waiters and JR, to whatever extent they're viable as players, have a completely different skill set than what the Lakers have had. I'm not totally confident, Andy, that they're going to be able to kind of exploit it, but those two guys do something different than the other guys do.
Well, it's going to be interesting, too, because Frank Vogel said, opposite of what most coaches do in the playoffs, all things being equal, he doesn't want to tighten up his rotation. He actually wants to try to run a 9 or 10-man rotation if he can, which is, again, it's counter to what most coaches do.
But it could be a different 9 or 10 guys in every series.
Yeah,
and he's played sort of bench roulette all season long in terms of who he plays and who he doesn't. So
sure, but
I think game to game it's probably 9 or 10 guys, but there could be a different group of guys every night.
Sure, but it's one thing to do bench roulette when you're playing the Wizards in December. It's another thing to be playing bench roulette in, say, the first round of the playoffs or the second round of the playoffs.
Oh, for sure.
And it's also, right now, it's a sort of a different type of bench roulette because he really doesn't know yet what he has in Dion or JR or, really Markieff Morris. Markieff was only playing in a handful of games before the season got suspended.
Didn't play particularly well.
And he also doesn't really know, Frank Vogel also doesn't really know how this team operates without Avery Bradley or Rajon Rondo. He doesn't.
Well, that I disagree with. They have a pretty good idea, certainly, of how they operate without Bradley because they did it for 20 games.
Not without both. Not without both.
There was they've seen a little bit of that. Obviously, like you say, not 30 games of it, but
right.
That to me is an easier adjustment than trying to figure out what the other guys are able to do. I think they know. I think they have a pretty good feel throughout the season of what it looks like, when Caruso's on the floor, what it looks like when, the available lineups are there. So that part I don't think is as big of a deal. It's more the question of you have these new tools. What do you do with them?
Markieff, by the way, is not checked in.
Okay.
That was Marcus. That was Marcus in there.
They do.
He's the one in the Clipper jersey, Brian.
I just saw Morris' face as I was looking at my pizza.
Right.
Yeah.
No, when the pizza's in front of you, it's easy to get.
In fairness to me, they do look alike.
They do. They do actually resemble each other. A very strong resemblance. Oh, whoa, JaVale, point center JaVale McGee running the floor with the handles. I like it.
So, that's got to be a charge. Yeah, Kawhi into the lane. Of course, you people have already seen this. That's a charge. Lakers up early in the first quarter as we go to the first timeout. Thanks to our guys at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. I cannot say oil. I can't say oil change.
Well,
I always say it like I'm like a prospector in Texas. I always say oil.
Would you like me to thank our friends over at Valvoline?
I'll give it another shot, but I don't think they mind if I do it sounding like JR. I'm just saying I have trouble saying those words. Oil.
Thanks
change.
to our guys at Valvoline, an oil change.
All change.
Home of the 15-minute oil change, helping ESPN listeners rides and peak performance. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations. Slam dunk savings on your next service. Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Yeah. As opposed to Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Oil. You know which one I was discovering is a real
Jerry Jones.
Real tongue twister. One of the days I was on in the morning with LZ, we were talking about the freak show Mike Tyson match that's coming up.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
I'm not a fan at all.
I don't condone that at all.
I'm not a fan at all, but Roy Jones Jr., you've got 3 different vowels in a row, and Roy Jones in particular is really opposite.
It's weird how this works. I can say Roy Jones Jr., but I can't say oil change. And you can't. You always struggle. Do you still struggle with cinnamon? You still not able to say the word cinnamon.
I don't want to get into that. I don't. I'm going to neither confirm nor deny my struggles with that word. But yes, that one is both a struggle for me to say and spell. I can't spell that word. It's my kryptonite.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I always misspell a custom.
Folks, right now following us on all the various chat platforms, interactions, are there any words you have trouble saying that you can actually use in this chat board? Keep it clean.
You can. Cinnamon is not a dirty word.
No, not that word. I'm saying don't try to throw out a word you shouldn't be saying as a joke.
Oh no, but I just said like you could have if you weren't a coward, you could try to say cinnamon on this live stream and nobody's going to get in trouble.
Cinnamon.
There you go.
Cinnamon.
There you go. What are you scared of?
Well, no, I'm not. I'm going out on a high note.
Now you're angry.
Cinnamon.
Oh, that is. I don't know if.
What is a synonym for cinnamon?
Cinnamon. I don't know if a man can win Fan Friday based purely on the power of a mustache, but if that's possible, our friend Dan Poloski seems to have done it because I saw. I mean, there's Lakers gear going on in there somewhere, but mostly what I saw was a commanding mustache. Dan, how are you? Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, gentlemen. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good, man. Good to meet you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Is this a quarantine thing that you're growing here, or is this just part of your daily, like, oh, that's just Dan being Dan?
Actually, it's a little less. Before the quarantine, I used to be able to curl it, but since I couldn't go to barbers anymore, I snipped it.
Interesting.
Oh, that is sad.
It's too hard to do it by yourself.
That is
especially if you wear glasses. It's like it's not happening.
You really learn that they are essential workers at that point.
Absolutely.
When your mustache can't be curled.
Yep.
So you went the opposite of most people in the pandemic, because like most people would be attempting to grow out something that they would curl. You just recognized, the assistance that you needed, and you gave up.
Exactly. I just trimmed it down. I figured, you know what? I'll just, especially in Vegas, it gets so hot. Now shorter for now.
So is it like a true curl, like somebody from like the 1850s, a strong
Yeah,
man?
I used to be able to get it like that. I could get it to the half circle.
Now, and I hope you don't mind me asking, are you a hipster?
Some people consider me I own a record player, so yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. There you go.
Or a turntable. Some people
that
like that.
I believe it's called vinyl. I believe it's called vinyl.
That's true. That's also another name for it.
How much craft beer do you have in your refrigerator right now?
0.
Okay.
Like beers from like England and Germany are the best.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's still pretty hipster though.
Oh, absolutely.
Where do you live?
Like, I appreciate that you're owning it.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your question, Andy?
Where do you live?
I live in Vegas, about 8 or 9 miles west of the Strip.
Oh, wow. Well, we really appreciate then you listening in from all the way over there, man. Thank you.
I grew up in LA. I've always listened to the show, and this is my way of getting a little bit of home each day.
Sorry, my daughter's trying to tell me something about the pizza and the wings.
That's totally understandable. That's
trying to have two conversations at once.
They're delicious, thanks to our friends at Pizza Hut.
Indeed.
Safely open and delivering large pizzas, 3 for $9.90. Large pizzas, 3 toppings for $9.99. I don't want to misrepresent. Three large pizzas for $9.99. Even Pizza Hut's not doing that.
No, and I don't want to put them on the hook.
But it's still a good deal. A large with 3 toppings, $9.99. That's very good.
It's a great deal. It's just not a deal that's going to put Pizza Hut under.
Out of business, right?
Right.
My version is good pizza.
Ooh, JaVale.
Little passing there from JaVale.
Speaking of guys, by the way, who played in Nevada.
That's right.
Unfortunately, the TV's in the other room. I get a horrible signal. Don't you hate that when you just get a bad signal on the other television?
Yes, it is extremely aggravating, particularly when you've waited like 4 months to watch this in particular. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure that is rough.
What's the score, by the way?
You're going to be really disappointed. AD just shouted you out personally on the broadcast. You weren't watching.
It was amazing. Like he said,
specific to you.
It would not be the first time I missed
Dan in Vegas.
It would not be the first time I missed something special.
Yeah.
We're looking.
Not that Dan. He said no. Dan Poloski in Vegas. That one.
To keep you updated, we're looking at 18-11. Lakers up about 5.5 minutes, and there's a foul, and JaVale is, I believe, going to the line. There was a bit of a brouhaha, but I think he's actually going there.
Well, let's hope he makes both at the charity stripe.
Yeah, well, you know what? JaVale's actually, for a big man, he's not bad. He can make free throws.
I'm just glad that we have Lakers basketball back. Oh my God.
I know, man. You and me both, the three of us.
Joakim Noah with a just really high-end tan.
Well, I mean, he had been
He's
available for a while.
He's a man who spent some time in the out of doors.
Yes. Excuse me. Didn't mean to misinform you, Dan. It's actually committing the foul. Joakim Noah going to the line.
Well, that's okay. I'll make sure I don't let John Ireland know that you messed up on a play-by-play.
Well, we're technically not allowed to do play-by-play.
Right.
That's true. Absolutely right. So actually, the fact that you messed up is perfect.
Right. In that sense, I was going to say, actually, we probably violate fewer rules if I get all of it wrong.
The last thing we want to do is violate those.
Absolutely. So Joakim missed the first one.
Great.
So now, what specifically, like, we know that these games for the Lakers, they're a bit of a tune-up, even though they're regular season now. And for the Lakers, basically disaster has to happen for them not to keep that seed. So what are you looking for in particular? Like, what are you looking to see during this period?
I'm not looking to see anything until we get to the playoffs.
Okay.
Because I think we're all Clippers, Lakers, but who cares?
Gracie.
It's like, who cares? Let's just get to the playoffs. Let's warm up, and then we'll crank it up to 11.
Well, it's interesting you say that, though, because, I mean, you're correct in terms of the stakes obviously rising once you get to the playoffs. But the Lakers have been really focused, you could see, during the scrimmages. They were focused throughout the regular season. Like, there had been some degree of expectation, that there'd be load management for LeBron and AD, that they would sort of build towards something. And the Lakers have treated every single game this season with urgency.
Absolutely.
Like, they have not bleeped around this season.
No, that is true. Like, they always have their foot on the gas, and they keep it on the gas. That's definitely a good thing. As far as scrimmages go, I like what I saw from LeBron and AD. I would like to see more from Kuzma, because I'm a big Kuzma fan, and I think this might be his. I don't know, chance, but like this is mandatory. He needs to step it up in these playoffs.
Dan, Marcus McRae wants to know what's still open in Vegas as far as nightclubs, and I'm just going to tell Marcus, you don't need to be going to the nightclub.
I was just about to say the same thing. I don't even want Dan to answer that.
The fact that we got the casinos back is amazing. The nightclubs probably not till New Year's Eve.
Yeah, you're if I may, your mayor's a little crazy.
You may say that, and I think that was a little lighthearted, don't you?
Yes, I was trying to be generous. I'm in a good mood because basketball's back.
Baby.
She's definitely out there. That's for sure. She does not speak for all of us.
No.
She's what they would have described in Butch Cassidy as colorful. These are important. Like if you're looking for kind of minutes to watch, these are the kinds of minutes that you want to see. Pat Bev at the line, where LeBron is out, and now you have Alex Caruso in the game, KCP in the game, and you want to see how that offense works without LeBron there, because obviously no Avery Bradley, no particularly Rondo in this case, no real established secondary ball handlers. So these are those lineups in the playoffs, in these 6 minutes a game that LeBron doesn't play, that are going to be really important.
Go ahead, Dan.
Go ahead, Dan. No, you go.
One thing I'm really excited for is definitely to see LeBron and Caruso back in that fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah.
And the closeout, just like, bam. This is what we've all been waiting for.
Well, like with the third scrimmage where, LeBron, AD, Kuzma, and Dwight all didn't play, I actually thought it was meaningful and significant that the Lakers actually managed to function as an offense. Like, granted, I know they're playing the Wizards, and the Wizards are a JV team, and they're missing a few important players, but we still have seen the Lakers struggle during the season for like 90 seconds without LeBron. Like, this team is really designed for LeBron to run everything. And the fact that they managed to actually function, could they do that against a legit playoff team? Of course not, but that's not going to happen against a playoff team anyway. But I thought that actually you could take something from that that doesn't mean everything, but it doesn't mean nothing either.
Well, that's certainly true. Like, I mean, I did hear rumors that the Lakers were secretly working out during quarantine.
Yeah, they were.
So there's no secret. But I think that definitely has worked to their cohesiveness in working together. And especially LeBron's going to be the captain of kind of those secret practices. And he's probably was telling them, like, look, guys, I'm going to have to rest parts during the game. You guys, you can't fall apart when I'm off the floor.
Right. It's not going to be long, but you have to be able to function. By the way, ESPN tweeting out Melo, CP3, Dame Lillard, CJ McCollum, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, all in attendance taking this in. I'm sure a lot of these guys, outside of their Jones for basketball too, they probably just want to see, like, what does this look like? I mean, now that it's like the real games and, they're doing, they're making all the real statements in terms of the social justice issues and, like, enacting all of this during a game. I think a lot of them probably just are curious to see how it all looks.
Sort of. Honestly, I think it's like, what would they be doing right now if they were home? A lot of them would be watching this game on TV.
Sure, but they could be watching it as a group. They could be, also.
But I'm just saying, like, it's not surprising. I think a lot of these guys, because they spend a lot of time watching basketball and they can't go anywhere, and that's like, hey, I can go watch these games in person. I mean, I'm curious to see as it goes further along, and you get more into like a true scouting kind of place. And you can actually, sometimes you can scout a little bit more on TV than you can watching the game live. Kind of if which players keep showing up. But for right now, it's like an AAU tournament. I'm not surprised these guys are watching each other.
By the way, the over-under for the amount of games Jamal Crawford will attend in person, all of them, bet the over even on that. Bet the over on all of them. Jamal will be
until the Nets are
Did you guys get the spread on tonight's game by any chance? I didn't catch it.
5. Lakers -5. I think
Lakers -5.
Yeah,
Lakers win by exactly 3 points.
Can you read your sister? So this is another interesting lineup, and we're going to let you go here in a second, Dan. Another interesting lineup here. Now we have Waiters in. So it's a small lineup with AD in the middle. Waiters, Kuzma, Caruso, KCP. I think that was 5. And AD. Yeah, so AD in the middle with those guys. So that's an interesting lineup, too. So Frank Vogel is going to be messing around with a lot of these. And J.R. Smith, I think, is poised to come in at some point here soon. So this is the stuff that I think is interesting and engaging for Lakers fans. All right, Dan, before we let you go, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Where do you think this goes? Is it a Lakers-Clippers Western Conference Finals?
No, I don't think the Clippers make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Spoken like a true Laker fan.
Well, not only a true Laker fan, but someone that just looks at the way they've acted throughout the season. It's just basic logic. They're not going to be able to get it together against other teams that really, really want to knock them out.
And so Lakers through to the finals against who?
If I have my dream, it's going to be the Boston Celtics.
Oh, I mean, look,
but we all know it's the Bucks.
Well, here's the thing, though, man. Like, 2020 has been so bad all around. Like, it's not greedy to ask for your first choice. At this point, we've gotten so few first choices, period, over the last 4 or 5 months. Be greedy. Ask for what you want. Ask for what you want.
Thank you, sir. I think I will. We're going to go Lakers Celtics and Lakers winning Game 6.
Awesome, man.
Very good.
Great meeting you, man. Congratulations.
Great meeting you guys. Thank you, guys. Have a great night and enjoy the game.
We will, man. Thanks.
Thank you. Go Lakers.
And Poloski, owner of a tremendous mustache, and our second Fan Friday winner. So thanks again, Pizza Hut, for hooking that guy up with a bunch of pie.
Yeah. No, it's been good. My family is fed and they're happy right now. Okay.
That's a good sign.
That's a big shot for Kyle Kuzma. 3-pointer early in the clock. Like, this is something he needs. Like, he needs to be making shots like that. He needs to be making shots early in a game. Like, it's important. It is super important for him to be doing this. Oh. It still hurts to watch that. AD getting poked.
Well, never fun to get poked in the eye.
No, it is not.
It's about 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Lakers up by 11.
They're up by 11.
Well, there would be no math. And you can really see with the Clippers where they struggle and the difference in this team without Montrezl Harrell and particularly Lou Williams. I mean, it just changes the dynamic of where the scoring comes from, how you deploy Kawhi and Paul George, what you do, in the middle.
I mean, you lose.
Joe is a clever player at this point in his career, but he's not that dynamic pick and roll partner that
you just lose. You lose an entire identity. I mean, look, before Paul George and Kawhi Leonard arrived, like, you could argue the biggest part of the Clippers' identity was Lou and Montrezl Harrell and Pat Beverly. Like, that dynamic between the two of them was a huge part of their success. You're talking about two guys. One or the other is going to win Sixth Man of the Year.
Well, unless
they're
they
both
just
on the same.
split the but
I think,
you know what I'm saying. But I'm sort of agreeing with you, like, in the sense of
I guess
that
right.
The only way we don't win is because they're both so good that it opens the door for a third guy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could for a guy like Dennis Schroeder maybe or someone, but I'd still be surprised if it wasn't one or the other.
Oh yeah, me too.
But this is also, too, that the Lakers have not fallen apart during this period thus far without LeBron. That matters. That really matters a lot.
Oh, I'll fix it, buddy. It's okay.
And it's not just a matter of having AD out on the floor, because Anthony Davis running the floor, man. That is a strong dunk running the floor, cleaning up. But, like, even Anthony Davis out there has not been a safeguard consistently this season for them functioning offensively. So This is good. This is really important. That is not a good foul by Landry Shamet.
No, it is not.
At all.
What are you doing, baby?
I mean, Landry Shamet maybe a little bit not up to speed. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's Pat Beverly. I thought it was Shamet. My bad. That's an even worse foul from Patrick Beverly. He ought to know better. He's out there specifically to defend without doing that kind of stuff.
You want more? Facey? So Braun back in. So this part of the rotation, Vogel playing pretty close to what he did during the season, where LeBron goes out, comes back in with about 2 minutes left in the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So that part's the same.
These were really good minutes during that period. Really, really good minutes. That's a really nice sign. I mean,
that's for Daddy.
I gotta say, by and large, taking even the scrimmage for what it is, those scrimmages, they've looked good during this period. They've actually looked really good.
Absolutely.
Hi. Say hi to Uncle Andy. Say hi.
It's not terribly surprising, just in the sense that they're so driven by LeBron, who you just would assume would be LeBron. And so,
but you never know. I mean, with a layoff like this, and so much, uncertain. I mean, we've been dealing with real life, life altering stuff.
Oh, for sure.
So you never quite know.
Oh, for sure. And there's a lot of trying to figure out kind of what things mean and how things play out in the bubble, and what the intangibles are and all this stuff. And that's one of those intangibles. How does the layoff impact every team? Although I guess that layoff didn't help LeBron on that 3-pointer.
No.
And
not as such.
In some ways, the Lakers and their dependence on LeBron isn't very constructive. But in this particular way, when you have one guy who really is disproportionately important to everything that you do, but that guy is LeBron James, and he's been orchestrating, these workouts, and he's been doing all this stuff while they've been off. The Lakers just feel like a team that would be suited to come back strong and ready to play.
His leadership this season, like, not just in the way he's led on the court, or not just in the way that, you follow a leader, but the way he's empowered his teammates to have a voice on this team and feel like they have ownership. It's not equal ownership, nor should it be. LeBron should have the strongest, most meaningful voice in that locker room. But all these guys have talked all season about how they feel heard. They have the ability, to actually say what's on their mind, and if need be, even call out LeBron.
I don't need Kyle Kuzma doing one dribble pull-ups at 3 seconds left on the shot clock.
No.
So
we've seen both ends of the spectrum with Kuzma during the scrimmage when it comes to like good judgment with shot selection.
Well, that one he had to shoot.
No, but I'm just saying in general. In general,
a lot here. Did you forget that Reggie Jackson was a Clipper?
No,
I'd forgotten until about 3 days ago.
No, I had actually remembered that, but you also kept forgetting that Dion was on the team.
Well, no, I remember that eventually.
Sure. I don't know why I remember that Reggie Jackson was on the Clippers, but for some reason I didn't forget that he is actually on this team.
And so
maybe it's just because there's been some talk about should the Lakers get him.
I also think too. I know I remember him going now to the Clippers. I just forget. Over time because he never really didn't. He played, but not much.
Right.
And so, it's easy to forget about those guys. Good play from Kuz to draw a foul there at the end of the quarter.
Yeah. No, that's nicely done. That's really, really nicely done. He's important, man. I mean, his upside in terms of potentially swinging the Lakers to a higher level, it's better than anybody else on this team. I mean, I know we've been saying it all year, and you become a broken record, but it really matters.
So one sign the Lakers are operating at a really, one sign they're operating at a good good level right now is the fact they're up by 12. Another sign, though, is that they have, and part of the reason they're up by 12 is they've forced 13 fouls from the Clippers in the first quarter. So 13 personals right now for the Clippers through one quarter of play. That is a lot.
Yeah.
So a good sign that the Lakers are playing well.
Anthony Davis has already taken 8 free throws. That's a lot in one quarter. That is a lot.
So Lakers finished first quarter up by 12. That is a good first quarter, 35-23 at the end of the first quarter. And let's see here, a couple numbers. You mentioned AD with 8 for 8 from the line, 14 points. LeBron, a quiet 8 minutes, 5 assists, though. So you see what he's been doing, distributing the ball. Against the Clippers, AD is a guy that you would expect to have a lot of big games. And LeBron with a more of a facilitating role. Only took 3 shots in the first quarter. JaVale 6 points on 3 of 3 from the floor. Kyle Kuzma 7 points, 4 of 5 from the free throw line, 1 of 3 from the floor. So just you see a lot of the Lakers shot 14 free throws in the first quarter. That's a lot. They're going to win a lot of games if they shoot 14 free throws every quarter.
I cannot wait to see this. Fargo, by the new season of Fargo.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a great show. It is such a great show. I've liked all 3 seasons. I think the 3rd season might have been the weakest, but it's all relative. It is such a good show. I can't wait to see what they do with this. Chris Rock cast against type. Like, this should be really interesting.
Oh, that's weak for a very strong. Usually very strong for over 40 years high. Then again,
So quick reminder to everybody, late night happy hour tonight, 10 o'clock. Bill Oram, I think, is going to stop by for a few minutes. Tonight at least, everybody's working. Everybody in the NBA is doing something. And then I think Jovan Buha, also from The Athletic, is going to stop by. So
okay, good.
Both Lakers and Clippers. That's both. It's all a little TBD, but we can always go quad box, Andy.
Yes.
You know how we do it. We can always go quad box.
We love going quad box. Again, late night happy hour is, as always, on the station's social feeds, Twitter, Periscope.
As you're doing this.
Yes,
you can see the picture that's up on the screen right now of what they did in the anthem, where everybody locked arms, both teams, both coaching staffs during the anthem. And I think what you're going to see is a lot of different statements. There was a very moving video that was played before the game, but a lot, the players have been talking about it. There's a lot of stuff that they want to do and a lot of messages that they want to communicate throughout. And there was some concern that attention would be taken away from the movement for racial justice. It's so important to so many of these players by coming down to playing in Orlando. I actually think it's the opposite.
You and I have both actually been pretty confident that this is a real opportunity to make sure that it doesn't happen.
With the resurgence of coronavirus and all these other things that have been happening, there's a lot going on. It's a big country with a lot of things going on. And the NBA and, the court where it says Black Lives Matter, and the fact that most of these guys will start interviews talking about Breonna Taylor and all of those things it's an opportunity to put focus back on it that might not otherwise be there. So I think it's actually worked out well for the players because
it's an opportunity to control the conversation and to keep dictating it and to say, no, we're not going to stop talking about this. And I can make sure we don't because, you want me to talk at all. Like, you're looking for words out of my mouth. I'm going to make sure that those words at least include this.
It's funny too. Like when you listen to these calls, it is awkward for players. Players are really to the advantage that you're talking about there, Andy. Really have the advantage in controlling that messaging because reporters, when these guys speak, so eloquently about issues that are so much more important than basketball, it is always a very awkward transition on these press conferences and media availabilities to change the subject back to basketball. So I think that's enhanced more.
And
the ability for guys to really truly deliver a message.
I thought it was interesting too. Kuzma in a recent Zoom interview had talked about why he wanted to be asked about this stuff. And he said, in part, it's like, look, we understand that you guys have to ask questions about basketball too. And it's not fair of us to constantly not answer your questions. So let's work together on this so you can get, the game details that, they're not obviously as important as these issues globally, but, on a micro level, LeBron James, everybody, they matter on a micro level in terms of you have a job to do reporting what's going on inside the bubble. So let's make this a partnership. And I thought that was actually a really mature way of Kuzma to put it.
Lakers starting second quarter with Dwight, LeBron, Dion Waiters, J.R. Smith, and who's the fifth?
Kuz.
So, now we see Waiters and Kuzma, or Waiters and Dion on the floor together.
Waiters and JR, you mean?
Waiters, what did I say? Waiters and Dion. Yeah, Waiters and JR.
I mean, Dion's got a colorful personality, but he's not, multiple personality. Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. John Sampalo saying to me, disagreeing with me that OKC could be a sneaky team to contend with. I'm not saying that I think OKC is a true threat to the Lakers, but I think they are going to be a pain in the ass to play. I don't think anyone is going to want that team, and I would not sleep on them because they have played legit well this year. They have been legit good. Again, not calling the upset, but they've been a legit good team this year. They've been really good. So there you have it, John.
Yeah, take that.
A good rebound by Dwight. Actually, nice pass by Dwight. It's a really nice play by Dwight there. Off that rebound, finding LeBron on the cut with a bounce pass. It's a really nice play.
Oops. Try that again. I mean, this is we talked before, small lineup out there. This lineup's got a little more bulk to it, with LeBron.
And Vogel really does seem to like, all things being equal, playing on the bigger side. Like he likes some big lineups. It's very counterintuitive to a lot of the league right now.
Lean back too far. Can't see it.
Vogel is a bit of a traditionalist in that way. Like, he definitely does like having some size out there. That's a nice play by Patrick Patterson, actually.
Two things about where this game is now. It's like, how hard do the Lakers keep pushing, and then how hard do the Clippers push back? Like, where the Clippers sort of throw the fly. I mean, obviously, there's 9 minutes and 27 seconds left in the second quarter. They're not doing it now, but there's a point at which the Clippers are just going to call it a night. And it's always interesting to see where that moment is.
Yeah, although the Clippers, though, maybe not specifically this game, and, to some degree you're handcuffed by the guys who are absent, but they need these regular season games, I think, as a tune-up more than the Lakers, just because they've been missing more guys.
I just think their practice has been more necessarily going to use them.
Oh, look, you can't figure out how it works with Lou and Trez if they're not there. So, until then, you're handcuffed.
All right, so we're at a commercial here. Lakers up by 7. A little bit of that lead that was up to, I think, 14 at one point has evaporated a little bit. The Lakers outscored 11-6 in the first 3 minutes of the second quarter.
Ironically, with LeBron coming back into the game, it's usually the opposite.
I have said many times, Andy, LeBron really screws things up and he gets too much floor.
That dude is an anchor. I'm telling you, the minute the Lakers shed that guy, that's when good things are going to happen.
I agree.
Where are those wings from? Thomas Ventura asking. They're from Pizza Hut, one of our sponsors tonight, and they are good. They are very good.
You know that Pizza Hut's kitchens are safely open?
Yes.
Serving large 3 toppings for $9.99 each.
That's a deal,
to
man.
deliver or carry out of pizzahut.com. True story.
Yes, it is a true story. It's a very good deal.
It's important to lie about.
No, it is too important. I may have to investigate that on days that aren't today, moving forward.
Well, that's all of them.
Right. I'm just saying I don't need to do it right this second because I've got the pizza and the wings that I need.
You have it with you. I'm saying,
right.
As a point of reference, all the days from now until the end of time will be the ones that aren't today. So you got a lot of options. Is all I'm saying.
That's true. I will be right back. Hang on 1 second.
It's really hard, it's hard to read the tea leaves and all these other things, but what you find in these games, just the Lakers are just really good. And as long as LeBron is healthy, as long as AD is healthy, and as long as they are willing to put out the effort defensively, they're going to remain really, really good. And it's so I'm kind of and because these, there's all the little nuances of, this team versus that, and who plays well in this quarter and that quarter, and how does Waiters do in this run? Did JR have a good shooting game or not? The bottom line is the core of the team that was playing together in the first part of the season is going to be playing, for the most part together in the second part of the season. And they're really good.
Yeah.
And it's just I'm just kind of, it's almost like the Dodgers in the last couple of years of the playoffs. It's you just need the playoffs to start because the rest of it, you're almost conjuring stuff to be, either get yourself worked up about or whatever. There's not a whole lot to get worked up about.
A lot of it, though, it starts coming down to, especially once the rounds get harder, obviously any team with LeBron and Anthony Davis on the floor together a lot is going to be really good, but it starts turning into a matter of how much lifting do they have to do.
Oh,
You know,
oh no. Once the playoffs start, now all this stuff. I'm just saying with these seeding games, there's because they don't really matter. They really don't matter. The Lakers could lose 7 of 8 of these, and likely might not even fall out of the top seed.
Particularly if they win this game, it's basically a wrap.
It's basically over. I mean, if they win 3 of 8, then they are mathematically guaranteed to be the number 1.
Right.
So it's like,
but you know what? Though? I mean, I understand what you're saying, but
my point is, I want to fast forward to the parts that are
But the thing though about this team, the way they've operated all year and the way Vogel's coached, like even if the games don't matter, they're going to treat them like they do, and they're going to be using them to figure out things that actually do matter. And like the more of a habit you can get into in terms of letting LeBron carry less, even if these games don't matter, the better off you're going to be once it actually starts.
I'm not arguing against what they're doing. I'm just saying I want to get to the good part. This is entirely about me. It's not at all a commentary on the team. I just want the part that I want.
Sure.
Like we waited 4 months to get real basketball back, and now that it's back, it's like it's awesome, and I'm happy. Except now I just want to get to the really good part.
You're the worst, man. You're already complaining and looking forward off what we have.
I'm excited.
We just got this back.
It's excitement. It's born out of excitement. I want to get to the good part.
What a freaking ingrate you are.
I'm very appreciative.
This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things. I'm just telling you that right now. Like, unbelievable. Speaking of not being able to have nice things, Dwight at the line.
Yeah. Lakers lead down to 5. And this is where, you wonder about some of these lineups. Defensively as good as Dwight is a lineup that includes Waiters, Kuzma, and Smith going to be able to defend anyone.
No, that's a pretty thankless gig out there for Dwight at this point. Everything that's being asked for him.
Our work. Whoa, that's hot.
Presuming in the middle of a pandemic with the most visible racial justice movement in decades. It's an interesting time, certainly for the league, for the country. And there's the ball. LeBron grabs the ball. 8 to play in the half. There's a
Wait, you have to do what I do. Wait, you have to do what I do.
I hear them in the background.
Ooh, good hands. Good rip. That was the right call. All ball.
I'm dead. Oh, wait.
Man,
So that's Kawhi's so good at that.
he's really, really good at that. And
You have to respect his ability if you're Dwight to go all the way to the hole. But he's,
right, and then
from 12 feet, pretty automatic.
and Zoo wiped Kuzma on that screen.
Yeah.
Good recovery though by Kuzma off that, because he really did get taken out pretty strong. Comes right back with a 3. That's nice. I like that. I mean, it's so hard.
Hi, baby.
Oh, Dion Waiters with like 11 spins on that play. That is nice. Boys, be nice.
Knock it off.
Tell them Uncle Andy said to knock it off.
That'll work.
They don't respect me?
I don't think in that regard Andy saying knock it off is going to get him to knock it off.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
It is what it is, my friend.
Yes, it is.
Look at that. That's how I used to do it at the playground. Will you go give this to Mom? Can you go give this to mommy? Nope, don't drink it. Don't drink it. Drink.
Is it wine?
Somebody pooped.
Uh-oh.
Saying who?
God, I can't believe you're putting that on the baby, Brian. That's not cool. It's not cool to put what you did on the baby.
No, I didn't say who it was. I just said somebody pooped.
Oh, you implied. You implied it was the baby. I mean, we all knew you. Yeah, I bring in Caruso, pick up a little bit of the defense with this group. Yeah.
They'd already started to stretch back out. But...
Yeah, you could see as LeBron was like a step into that, he's like, okay, this isn't going to work. You can see he's like, uh-oh, I'm caught.
Try to kind of pull up. They couldn't quite do it.
Yeah. I mean, LeBron didn't even argue. He knew what that was.
So lead got down to 4, I think it was, and now it's back up to 10. So
yeah, they
good push back from the Lakers.
It helps that they put Danny and Alex back on the floor. You know, you get a little more defensive.
I think though that it popped back up before that, a little bit before that. They pushed it back out a little before that.
Little before, but it helps. It definitely helps. It's crazy how these guys from the LA area and like the surrounding, like they have these connections that go so far back. They were showing Kawhi and Paul George playing against each other in college, and I believe they were in the same draft class. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think they were, or one was like a year ahead of the other, something like that. But these guys, they all stretch so far back, like Westbrook and Harden. You know, they've known each other since high school. I think have played against each other since high school.
Yeah, and when you're sort of all world, your universe kind of constantly overlaps.
Oh yeah, I mean these guys all travel in the same circles, and you know their basketball circles, like you said, those elite levels. You know, these guys, especially if you're from the same city, these guys have known each other since they were like 12, 14.
If that late.
Yeah, I mean, one of the cool things, everyone knows that, Meta and Lamar Odom grew up together. They played on an AAU team with Elton Brand, which want to talk about an AAU team that's going to destroy everyone. But all of them ended up at some point NBA teammates with each other, which is really cool.
I think my screen is frozen in a very unflattering way.
Very late night nostril cam. Yeah, you've looked better. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe you want to jump out and come back in. You know what? I think I have frozen. We've both frozen.
Or we're just sitting very still.
Okay, Carlos says we're not frozen, so
okay.
All right. It looks frozen from my vantage point.
We should put it on the poll. Are we frozen?
Yeah, tell us in the chats. Are we frozen?
Carlos says no.
Okay.
Look at all the people there.
I'm going to pop out and come back in.
All right, so timeout on the floor, 5 minutes, 5:22 left in the half. Lakers up by 9. AD leading the way, still with 15 points, 3 rebounds and assists, 9 of 9 from the free throw line. And it speaks to there really not being a good answer for Davis on that roster, particularly with no Montrezl Harrell. And so the Clippers have been fouling a ton. They're 13 in the first quarter, only 16 now, so it's gotten a little better, of course, in the second quarter. But the Lakers shot a ton of free throws early. They're up to 19 in the game. 10 points from Kuzma off the bench, 2 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 4 from three-point range, and 3 rebounds to go along with that. And LeBron, just a very casual 6 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, probably end up with a triple-double where he scores 11 points tonight, particularly if the Lakers keep getting production out of Davis, and that still works. LeBron is only going to put out as much kind of offensive exertion as he's going to need to, particularly in these games. Well, you're back, and for my thing, it still looks frozen. I'll just assume, well, because you're not moving either, and you already did that.
Matt, so far people says we're not frozen, so I guess they're seeing something that we're not. So as long as we're not frozen, then doesn't matter what we see. Elizabeth Zuniga says we're not frozen.
So. Sorry, Carlo. Have you ever seen The Alienist, Andy?
I have never seen The Alienist.
I have also not seen The Alienist.
I don't really have any interest in seeing The Alienist. Don't look that interesting to me. Oh, there you go.
Efren Solis, correct? I remember you from before the game.
Definitely. How you guys enjoying the game?
Good.
Man. What about yourself?
Good luck for you to watch these things in the dark?
Kinda. It seems
all
like
right. Whatever works.
Is this a long-standing ritual of yours, like your game day thing to watch in the dark?
Yeah, with my eyes closed and kind of imagine what's going on there.
Are you one of those nervous fans?
Not really.
Okay, good. Good.
And since that late '80s, so I've gone through those moments, so I'm kind of prepared for these times.
One of our Fan Friday winners, Efren, enjoying some pizza tonight. Go get yourself an oil change. You got a car, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Take care of it. Take care of it by changing your oil, and do it at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. And if you really want to impress them when you go in there, you say all. Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
You know what you could do, actually, if you really want to look like a baller, you go in there with the Pizza Hut that you got, the 3 toppings for $9.99. Right. You roll in there to get your oil change. People are going to be like, that guy's got it wired.
The thing about it is, though, you're not going to have that much time to finish the pizza because the oil change is just that quick.
Right. So don't bring the whole pizza.
It's instant.
Yeah, just bring a couple slices.
Well, some slices and some buffalo wings, and maybe share a few slices there with
There you go.
Yeah, that's actually that. The people over at Valvoline, they're probably hungry. They'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
nowadays, everybody's got it. Everybody's got to eat.
Where do you live, man?
I live in the Castaic.
Okay, very good.
Cool.
Yes.
Let's see, Danny Green. I'm watching Danny Green try to guard Kawhi.
Yeah.
Foul. He traveled.
No, he traveled. Nice work by Danny. So, here's the thing, though, about Danny Green. He knows Kawhi's moves really well. He knows a lot about what Kawhi does. I'm sure he's spent a lot of time over the years just guarding him in practice. Like, he gives up a lot of size. Kawhi is way bigger than Danny, but Danny knows a lot of what Kawhi is going to do, and that's helpful. It would be nice if they had just a natural matchup for Kawhi. Like the weird thing about the way the Lakers are constructed, they don't really have like a true two-way small forward on this team. Like somebody who plays small forward really on both sides of the ball. They don't really have that.
So, Efren, when you look at these Lakers, obviously it's been just a crazy season, and inspiring in some ways, and incredibly sad and tragic in others. What do you think about this team? What kind of inspires you about what they've done and who's there and all that stuff? Like, just sort of kind of.
What I enjoy is the togetherness that these guys show, how they play for each other, and they have each somebody that does a little bit of everything there to kind of help each position there, and I've been pleasantly surprised on JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard on how they've shut down the middle, and how much Caruso has grown here. But for the most part, I'm just enjoying, especially with the pretty much 10 years that we've seen these guys struggle, and to now see the turnaround and how quick they're turning around and how serious they look about it. Pretty gratifying as a Laker fan.
You know what's interesting about them, though, is they're really focused. Like they're an extremely focused team. But and I wrote a piece about this actually for The Athletic a while back. They remind me a lot of the 2009 team. The one that got waxed against Boston. That Game 6 where it just fell. They lost by, was it 39? They remind me a lot of that team in terms of the focus. But that group was incredibly intense. Like covering that season was extremely tense. Like those guys, they were cooperative with media. They were always, pleasant to be around, like in terms of, our interactions, but they were incredibly intense. And like the tension of that season, you could cut it with a knife. This group has fun. Like they're really focused, but it's much more fun. Like they're enjoying themselves. And, some of that is the difference of coming together, win a title, as opposed to trying to make up for what you lost. There's a difference contextually, but they're this really cool combination, this group of really, really focused, but really fun. You don't see that often.
Not at all. And the fact that, they can still have fun, but at the same time, maintain that focus and, keep that eye on what they really want to go for this year is, it's pretty special to see. You don't get that too often, especially with the collection of guys that they've signed this year and the different personalities and how they all feed off each other is pretty cool to see.
They're a really likable group. Like, I don't know how much that translates in terms of watching it from TV, from like a certain degree of separation. But if you're around them like we are, they're an extremely likable group to be around. Like, does that translate?
It actually does. It does, and that's what's making it so fun for that have, seen them struggle so much and see them go through what they're going through now. And even when they, face some certain adversities during the season there, they seem to stay focused and they still seem to have that smile and that brotherhood that they've preached during the whole season. And it's pretty damn cool to see, man.
Yeah, it is actually. And I do think we actually last night in the late night happy hour we had Harrison Sanford, Danny Green's co-host for Inside the Green Room, that podcast they do, and he talked about too how this group became really, really close, really quick. And Danny Green's been a part of San Antonio teams that had a really good culture. And last year, obviously, the culture in Toronto was fantastic because they won a championship and it came together really quick. He said that Danny has said many times that this is the closest team he's ever been on. Like, as far as guys being close with each other, guys really enjoying being around each other and going out of their way to do it. He said it's the most he's ever been around his entire career.
And that says a lot, coming from all those, teams that he played with Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili and Parker, and that they all played a certain, specific system. They'll, go to Toronto and do what he did there and then come out here and still say, this is the best group that he's played for. It's pretty satisfying to hear, and gives us hope out here in LA this year.
For sure it does.
Big Laker lead down to 1 point now with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the quarter. The Clippers are really starting to move a lot in the defensively, double teaming in the different spots of the floor, opens up the floor for AD for a dunk there. They're throwing more. They have to throw a lot of bodies at him. They don't have anybody who can guard him. And so, they toss some more bodies at him. It is so tempting to try to use these games to figure out, who's better, find the thing that you can make really good, incredible cases for either one of these teams, we've got in the other. The Clippers are clearly more versatile when everybody's there. They obviously have more ways that they can beat you, but I don't believe anybody who says that. They know for sure which one of these teams is clearly better than the other. I just don't think it's possible.
Well, what's interesting too, though, is like that last exchange of possessions between the Lakers and the Clippers reinforced something that we've actually known. Yeah, LeBron traveling there, that we've known all season.
That's something we see often.
Yeah, the Clippers don't have a real natural cover for Anthony Davis, and the Lakers don't have a natural cover for
very many steps
for Kawhi.
Yes.
And like that's something that we thought was going to be the case heading into the season. It's something that we've seen play out in 3 games, and it's something that's playing out now. Like they just don't. The Lakers don't really have that guy for Kawhi specifically, and the Clippers don't really have that with Anthony Davis.
I agree.
Now, are you
When
turning?
was the last time LeBron got called for traveling? Does anybody can we call up Elias for that? That does not happen much.
Junior high?
Yeah.
As egregious as some traveling calls are out here, that one didn't look that bad.
Oh, the LeBron travel or no? He took like 7 steps. He tripped a little bit, I think, and ended up stumbling a little bit, and that kind of turned it in there.
So all of a sudden, this thing is tight now.
Yeah. And so it gets back to the all of the tea leaf reading. You're a Clippers fan. You're sitting in this game going, okay, they're down by 1 with 50 seconds left in the first half. Clippers made a big comeback. We're playing with no Lou Will, playing with no Trez. So would you say advantage Clippers? I don't know. I mean,
ask me after the game ends.
Right. It's all. A lot of this becomes very much results based.
Yes, and but whatever we do with results based analysis, we say it very forcefully, like we knew it all along. Like that's the key to it all. Like not that we were learning anything as it went.
Confidence is critical.
We're going to let people know this is what we were saying from the beginning, even if it wasn't. You feeling all right, Efron?
I think he's gone. I think
He's
we
gone?
lost him. Oh,
Okay.
wait, he's back. There he is.
Back? Okay.
Can you hear us okay? All right,
Okay, the lights are back on a little more. Okay. Yes. It was for a little while we couldn't quite see you there. We were worried that the game got too tense for you.
If you're looking for a difference between the first quarter and the second quarter, Efren, and I'm sure you were, it's that the Lakers shot 13. They forced 13 personals on the Clippers in the first quarter. It was only 6 in the second. And so that explains a lot of. They're only shooting 38%. They're shooting 3 of 15 from 3-point range. So it was really the free throw line that was boosting them through that first quarter when they were able to build the lead. Now, without getting the line more frequently, the 3-point shot's not going down. And so you see the lead go away.
Yeah, and
Kawhi on LeBron. Like, this is what people want to see.
Oh, yeah. Nice work by LeBron on that possession.
Yes. And the Clippers seem to have
started no basket.
Moving up, kind of tighten things up there and not leave them.
Yeah. All right, so it's halftime. You have any halftime rituals, Efren, that you like to engage in?
Not really, aside from stretching out a little
Stretch
bit.
out, use the bathroom, get yourself ready.
The cold one.
There you go. I mean, we don't want you to pull anything over the course of watching this game, man. That would be both unfortunate and embarrassing.
No, you know what? I've been holding off this long from not watching any live sports. So right now, I'll pull in anything that I need to pull, but I'm going to sit here and watch this. So
awesome. All right, awesome. I'm from Solis from Castaic, you said. One of our Fan Friday winners. Congratulations. Hope this has been a fun night for you. And,
great meeting you, man.
Really good to meet you. Thanks for listening to the station. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You guys have a great one.
Yeah, you as well, man.
All right, thank you.
I think, Andy, one of the worst things about the bubble is that there is no red panda at halftime.
No, I mean,
unfortunately,
look, you can only bring in so many people when you're trying. I mean, every single person that you bring in, makes it slightly more risky in terms of trying to maintain the sanctity of the bubble. You got to make cuts somewhere.
I don't think I would have made that cut. I would have made the cut at the Suns instead of Red Panda.
I'm sorry. So far so good, and the bubble's been maintained, and we're all grateful for that. It was irresponsible to bring the Suns in. It just was. Like, the Suns have no business being here. Frankly, the Wizards have no business being there. Like, it was irresponsible of the league. That was the league getting a little too cute. You know, that's them crunching the numbers for the money with 22 versus 20 and getting a little too cute.
Yeah. All right, so hold on one second here. We'll dive into some numbers at halftime. All right, so it's 54-52 Lakers at the half. Lakers led by Anthony Davis, 20 points, 4 of 10 from the floor, but 12 of 13 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds for AD. LeBron, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. Does have 3 turnovers. JaVale, 6 points for the Lakers off the bench. Lakers led by Kyle Kuzma. He's got 10 points on 2 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 5 from the three-point range, 4 of 5, most of his damage coming from the free throw line. I feel like I'm reverting back to our old halftime show, Andy. 3 rebounds for Kuz. Dion has 4 points off the bench, so 14 bench points for the Lakers, but only, which isn't a terrible number necessarily, but only 2 of the 6 guys who have played, maybe kind of 5, and Morris has only played 2 minutes, but only 2 of the 5 guys who have come in off the bench for the Lakers have scored.
Yeah.
So I guess the points are there. Kuz is giving you 10 in the first half. That's great, but
you'd like a little more balance.
Yeah, a little more stuff coming off the bench than just 2 guys who were able to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, I mean,
Kuz's field goal percentage is not all that good. It's just he was part of that first quarter parade to the free throw line. Lakers shot 25 free throws in the first half. They shot 15 three-pointers, only made 3 of them. Clippers 16 of 19 from the free throw line in the first half. So a great many free throws and excellent free throw shooting from both teams. Coaches love to see that. Neither team can hit from the outside. The Lakers 3 of 15. The Clippers 4 of 15. That's terrible.
You know what you want to see, too, when you were talking about the bench scoring? Like them literally taking more shots. Like Dwight Howard didn't take, and he got to the line a couple times, but he didn't take any shots. J.R. Smith only took 1 shot. You know, like you need to actually see him, I think, get a little more aggressive with their looks. And, you know, LeBron's not going to go 2 of 9 from the field all that often in terms of building up the lead that they have. AD still sitting on 13 trips to the line in a half, made 12 of them. That's really good. Like it
is a huge advantage for the Lakers that they have a guy, you know, like that who is a great free throw shooter. I mean, it's something they've missed in the last couple of seasons. They've been a bad free throw shooting team. To have a star player, particularly one who's a big, I mean, granted, an unconventional one and kind of a new age big, but still to have a big.
You know, he shot from the line this year?
86, 87%, something like that, 85%,
close.
Somewhere around there.
84.5%.
Okay, 80%. I'll round up 85.
But I mean, that's really good for a 7 footer.
He's an excellent free throw shooter, and has been. This is not an unusual thing for him.
But I mean, that's a real advantage. I mean,
sure.
You know, remember like the Lakers, you know, the team that went back to back with championships. They would sometimes go through these hiccups too, because, you know, Meta could be really erratic at the line. Lamar was always an adventure.
Many things.
Yes. I mean, it's really nice if you've got guys who can draw fouls that they can actually cash in.
The rest of the KCP is a good free throw shooter. Doesn't go to the line very often. The rest of the team there are some guys who are a little bit dicey. You know, JaVale's a decent, okay enough free throw shooter for a big.
Yeah, I mean, 65%. Although, you know,
65% is not good, though, Andy.
No, it's not good, but I'm saying it's not awful.
It's pretty bad. But
first position, it's not terrible.
It's not good. But you know, LeBron is not as good as you would think he is.
No.
And, you know, Kuz can be inconsistent, but at least they have the one guy. You know, Danny Green is an excellent free throw shooter, never takes them. KCP is a very good free throw shooter, never takes them. Of the guys who get to the line, it's obviously LeBron and AD, and to have AD at 85% makes a big difference in their offense.
Yeah, it is hugely helpful. 69% for LeBron at the line, 70 rounding up. You'd like that to be a little bit better. But it's never been a strength of LeBron. I mean, as great as he's been on his career, he's
faded a little bit over the last, he's had better seasons, but this is sort of where he's settled into. Is that?
I mean, he's 73% for his career. I mean, that's not outstanding. It's like I said, it's never been his true strong suit. Man, it feels good just to see Kenny at that big screen. Like there's something reassuring about just having Kenny Smith back at the screen.
Are we allowed to say nice things about a competing network's halftime show, Andy?
I think we are. Look, these are they're an institution, but also too. I mean, these are unprecedented times, and times where we have to all come together, whether as people, whether as networks, whether as media entities.
That's right.
Now is the time where you can say, "Nice job, Kenny Smith. Nice job, team."
We're going to give away a Small Stars figurine. And if you haven't seen these things, I'm sure Carlo can throw up a photo of them. They're really cool. They're like foot-high statues of AD or LeBron. I'm not sure which one we're giving away, but we're giving away one of those. And it's about time to give one away. And we all reached the same conclusion here, which was how are we doing it, which to me is probably something we should have covered in our production meeting earlier today. But we'll figure it out as we go along.
I blame you because I thought that we actually had talked about it and I just wasn't listening. And I didn't want to say anything, but I figured you had it wired.
Carlo is
that is true. Carlo is the one in charge, technically.
I can think of the most important thing about Carlo is that Carlo is not me, and therefore I don't have to take the blame.
I have a question. It's sort of a deep cut, and a little bit fun, and we're making this up as we go. Everyone knows that Kostas Antetokounmpo is a two-way player on the Lakers. He is in the bubble right now. There's another Antetokounmpo who is not in the NBA. What is his name, and where does he play on this planet? Where on the planet does he play, and what is his name?
His name is Don.
Don Antetokounmpo.
Phil. Blake.
So how should people, Carlo, how should people relay this trivia? This totally impossible to track down information trivia. How are we doing this?
I guess we're looking at the comments section. I don't know. Again, all things that should have been taken care of in the production meeting. The rule is I don't think about these games that they is that they have to be fair per se.
No, or well executed. They just have to take place.
Yeah. I'll be right back. Keep an eye on that board.
Hey, no, my comments aren't coming up. This is a disaster at the moment, unfortunately. Yeah, it's been interesting to see the Lakers lead go up and down. They've looked good during the bubble, but they haven't played a team at the level of the Clippers so far. And as much as they've looked great when LeBron and AD have played together, and they've really dominated during those stretches. They haven't gone full bore over a course of a game with everyone together, and you're going to see a bit of stretches there. I believe. No, we do not have a winner yet. We do not have a winner. Somebody's got it part right, but not full right. I'm not going to say who has it part right, but not full right. But again, what is the name of the Antetokounmpo who's not in the NBA, and where does he play? Where is he playing? Let me make sure that I have my information correct. But where does this Antetokounmpo play? I'm pretty sure I have the exacts on this, and I have not seen the correct answer yet. So again, let's track down that Antetokounmpo, and you can win yourself a small These things are great. They're really, really cool. They're really fun. Let me make sure I got my info. Yep, I according to according to a site that is never wrong, I've got this correct. So let's see. Has anybody named this yet? Johnny Ray, how can I win a toy? Get this answer correct. Get this answer, come up with it, and you too can win yourself a small star. I'll give people a hint. You can find this information by looking it up. Roland, you're partially correct, not fully. Dig harder would be my advice. Oh, we've got another guy who's got it half correct. Half correct, not fully correct.
They should put them both together.
They should. I mean, I guess if they're willing to share this small star together, they've sort of got this right. I'm not going to say who. I'm also going to keep reminding people it ain't that hard. You can figure this out. We can only. No, we're talking about the one who plays. We're talking about the one who plays basketball, not soccer. Assuming someone is not screwing around, guys. I can't emphasize this enough. Instead of guessing, look it up.
Fire up your Google machine.
No. Debbie Tran, not Costas Mavericks. A, Costas is on the Lakers. B, not in the NBA. Made this very clear.
Andy, where do you come down on the peaches versus nectarine debate that's been tearing our country apart?
I prefer peaches if you can get peaches to that perfect point of ripeness. Nectarines, though, I think are a little safer, if that makes sense. Okay, we have ourselves a winner. J Mon 777 is your winner. Alex Antetokounmpo, Alexandros is his full name, and he plays right now for UCAM Murcia in Liga ACB. That is in Spain.
That was really well done.
It really was.
I like how you tried to do like the accent, like say it like a Spaniard would.
Yes, you know what I'm better at? I'm better at the big Texas oil accent.
Right.
I'm much more confident.
Would you rather have to do that for the rest of the broadcast, or just say cinnamon over and over again?
Oh, I'd rather which accent?
No, cinnamon.
No, but would I rather do which accent? The big oil, or
what are you trying to say in the very authentic voice where Alex Antetokounmpo plays basketball?
Murcia.
You were trying to be culturally respectful, which is nice.
Exactly.
It didn't flow.
I don't want to run around like I own the place. Also, too, I mean, you're talking about a lot of long last names, and I'm making sure that I have the info correct. And also, League ACB and like UCA, like a lot of this feels counterintuitive. Like ACB, you're thinking ABC, like in terms of the way it ought to be laid out. He did play, though. Somebody had this partially correct. He played at Dominican High School in Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin, but we were asking, where is he now? I said that multiple times as I was encouraging people, just look it up. But again, congratulations to Jamon777, our winner.
Right, it's not cheating if we tell you. Look it up.
Yes. I'm glad, by the way, Roland, who had it half right a few times, he is a good sport. As he said, LMAO, good win, bro.
Well, not to give away the shop here, but Roland's coming on the show later because he's already won something. So.
Oh, Jesus. Come on, Roland. Save a little for everyone else. My God.
Don't be greedy.
Seriously. Like, look at this guy. He's trying to have like a monopoly.
We appreciate the support of the station. Leave a little.
AK, tell the whole history as always. I'm not sure I understand what that means. From Blue 3, M3, AN13. I'm not sure I understand that. If you'd like to clarify. But I don't know what that means. So anyway, though, congrats to Jamon.
I think that's supposed to be Blue Meanies.
Oh, is it?
I believe so.
Like the Beatles?
I guess, but I don't think it's Blue 3, M3, NE3. I think the backwards threes are meant to be like an E.
You know what, man? My eyes aren't what they used to be. I can't see that. I can't see that well.
Am I correct, Blue Meanies? I don't understand that comment either. Oh, Roland wants the Hooper hoodie, like the one I got on.
Jeez. You should go check out their stuff, man. The Hoopery, it's good stuff. You tell the whole backstory, history, and yes, the Beatles. Okay, well done on the Beatles part.
How do we, Carlo, how do we put up a peaches or nectarines poll? This is an outstanding nectarine. All right, the second half has started. Just a reminder, for everybody who's maybe catching up on our watch party, whatever it might be, brought to you pizza, and also thanks to our friends at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute, here you go, Andy, minute oil change, helping to keep ESPN listeners' rides in peak performance. Visit SoCal Oil Change. All change for locations.com for oil change for oil. I'm just to start over. Thanks to our guys at Valvoline.
Would you like me to take over, Brian?
No,
thanks to our friends at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute oil change. I say, helping to keep ESPN listeners' rides in peak performance. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations. Slam dunk savings on your next savings. Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Slam dunk savings off your next services.
I can't wait to go Italian for the Pizza Hut. Man of thanks.
There are so many jokes I could make right now that I'm not going to make about places that it's probably fortunate that we don't have sponsors.
No, you got to know.
Yep. Got to know when to walk up to the line and then back away. I am curious how other people feel about peaches versus nectarines. Listen, I've found the nectarines this year have been way better than the peaches. I was a stone fruit aficionado.
Stone fruit season.
It is. And even 2020 can't ruin stone fruit season. We had an ungodly amount of nectarines at my house. All the kids like nectarines, even the picky one.
Wow. Because that boy doesn't eat much.
He does not.
That boy does not
salt and vinegar potato chips.
That's true. He's a big aficionado on potato chips, salmon. He'll eat a little noodles, right?
No, he doesn't. Well, maybe back. He's not a big. He eats proteins of many varieties of proteins, and then salt and vinegar potato chips, apples, and salmon sushi. But when he eats salmon sushi, he sometimes just eats the fish.
Go figure.
Yeah.
All right, getting a little slop. Oh!
It didn't go in.
Good job by AD running the floor, even though it didn't end up working out. KCP, by the way.
That is over the back.
KCP is another guy with sneaky little playoff history. He has not been to the playoffs very often. Like
one time with Detroit, I think was it his rookie year or his second year?
I don't know, but I know it wasn't even a long series. I think it was like 6 games or fewer.
I'd like to remind you, he was with Detroit.
True. You're just happy to be there.
But any playoff series that includes the Detroit Pistons in the last, decade and a half is definitionally short. That's a foul on KCP. So the Lakers got off to a great start, scored 35 points in the first quarter. That went down to 19 points in the second quarter. That is really badly done on a lot of levels. And
JaVale behind the back.
And now with a couple minutes gone by in the third, they haven't scratched yet. So, the offensive output has really slowed down since the first quarter.
Well, I mean, what else slowed down, like we talked about before, all those free throws. I mean, they were getting so many of those points early on from the free throws. This is actually the first lead the Clippers have had in this entire game. This is the first time they've actually been ahead.
KCP gets him on the board. Again, good free throw shooter. Just doesn't shoot very many.
I know. It's weird, too. I mean, it's not weird in the sense that KCP isn't a focal point, but he's not a guy that's afraid to drive, but he just doesn't get to the line.
I'm wondering, too, normally when you hear the sound and you can't necessarily tell if they're booing or saying zoo. But in this particular case, if you do hear from the court people saying they're probably not booing because there are no fans. They really are saying zoo. That's a good rebound by Zoo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing, though, too. If you're trying to replicate the home crowd with that, with the booing or the cheering, Laker fans did love Zoo. They hated that trade.
It was a terrible trade.
Oh, God, that was a really bad trade, the Zoo for Mike Muscala. That was a horrible trade.
Uh-oh.
All right. Lakers now down by 6. This is by far the biggest lead the Clippers have had in this game. Like the momentum has really swung since that first quarter towards the Clippers. Yeah. This is getting a little interesting. As Elizabeth Zuniga says on the chat, Lakers do not sleep. Like they do need to make sure that they maintain, everything that they were doing that got them that lead in the first place.
It was mostly just Anthony Davis getting the free throw line.
Well, find more ways to get Anthony to the line.
Anthony Davis, it seems to be the recipe for the Clippers.
But this is interesting, though, just in the sense that, how the Lakers use Anthony Davis in this matchup has been something that we've talked about all season. Like the idea of, how do you best exploit that? Like, how do you best get your way with a guy that the Clippers don't really have that natural cover for?
Yeah, and they've had decent success at it. I mean, Davis has played well against the Clippers, and the numbers are pretty good this year. But it's just, teams make adjustments. It's hard to do one thing kind of throughout. You got to be able to kind of open it up and do other things to be able to go back to the thing that you were, the natural matchup. Because eventually teams will just sell out on it and make it so you got, force you to beat them in another way. And this is where, it's funny, like the Lakers shooting numbers were always a little better than you think for a lot of the season. But I still don't necessarily trust them as a particularly good perimeter team beyond somebody like Danny Green, who actually hasn't been nearly as good as you sort of think of when you think of Danny Green.
And they also, too, heading into the break, they had been dreadful from behind the arc, other than LeBron and Anthony, who actually were shooting pretty well. But what you really want is those guys spacing the floor for them, not the other way around. No. In the meantime, though, Loremaster brings up a valid point. LeBron needs to make his shots. Hey, it's the greedy Roland. How are you?
Roland, give me all of the things. He just wants all of the things.
What team you rooting for there, Roland?
Is it not enough, Roland, that you won the Fan Friday thing? That you got to take all the other stuff.
I'm trying to win as much as I can, just to be honest.
You know what?
Roland, it's a pandemic. I don't blame you.
I was going to say, take what you can get in 2020.
Exactly.
Doesn't feel like. I like that jersey, man. That's a good looking one.
Do you like this? We got this done too.
Oh, nice!
Oh, that's sweet.
I like that.
Oh, what is that? Like a hand?
What's that made out of?
The Mickey Mouse glove from Disneyland.
Okay.
What?
So that's bespoke. That's homemade.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, is it what's it made of?
I I don't know. It's my ex girlfriend made it. Actually, I only keep it because it's pretty tight. Other than that, I wouldn't give it away.
You're not pining. You're not pining.
We don't need any other commentary on how on the breakup.
Look, Roland, the odds that she's watching this right now, they're low. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So she's not sitting around thinking, well, he's still thinking about me.
I feel it.
So where do you live, man?
West Covina.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's my favorite direction of all the Covinas.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty good joke right there.
Welcome to my life, Roland.
I can have you go away just as fast as we have.
That is true. We control the room.
Oh yeah,
So,
sorry. I blame the course.
So what do you make of the game so far and this swing back to the Clippers?
That was a terrible pass.
To be honest, I'm kind of disappointed. I would have thought they would be at least up by 15 without Montrezl Harrell in there and Lou Williams.
Yeah, that's a really big thing for the Clippers. That's their whole second unit, like in terms of the identity and how they operate.
Exactly. But yeah, I listen to you guys every morning. I call every time I'm at work. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Is your work aware?
No, that's why every time I call, it's kind of like I remember they told me one time to sound excited, but I couldn't because.
I actually think I remember that.
Do you dial the phone with those puppet fingers so there's no fingerprints left on it or something like that while you're there?
Nah, I just clear the call logs.
Ooh, bad pass by LeBron.
Then another. This game is really lacking in flow. Man, what's going on here?
It's getting a little raggedy. They need to settle down. The Lakers really need to settle this thing down. It's getting pretty.
Yeah, LeBron got to wake up.
Well, he's having an uncharacteristically bad game from the field.
It's 2 of the 3 games that they played the Clippers. He struggled.
By the way, too.
You can throw a lot of bodies. They have bodies they can throw at LeBron.
They are built. The Clippers are specifically built to try to slow LeBron, just to all those different bodies.
So okay, roll in here. What kind of setup you have? Because I hear you clearly got the boys are over.
Oh yeah, we got the home gym since we had a
nice. What's your bench?
How much I bench? 520. No,
nice.
And then we got the outside setup.
Oh, look at this.
That's slick.
We got
coming to Roland's house.
What up?
Hey, what up, guys?
But look at how he got a Lou Williams jersey on though.
Yeah,
well, no wonder you're putting him over in the corner.
Yeah, that's the only place he's welcome.
Roland has an impressive. You win so far with the setup.
And I like this too. It's pretty open air. You guys aren't all jammed together. I like that.
Yeah, I think the only thing missing is a hoopery hoodie. That's the only thing missing out here.
Dude, those hoopery hoodies are nice. They are really nice.
Let's go, LeBron.
Reminder, by the way, guys.
You didn't share any of your pizza with that guy, the Lou Williams guy, did you? Made him bring his own.
We had too many pizza that I had.
Oh, Clippers just pushed this thing up to 11. Kawhi Leonard 3. By the way, this is a reminder. The Lakers all season have had a penchant for strings of really bad turnovers. That's been one of their things this year. And this game's been a bit of a reminder of it.
Lakers have scored a grand total of 20 points in the last, 17 minutes of basketball? That is not good.
No, it is not good.
The defense has not been pristine, but they're really failing offensively. I mean, it's hard to be completely tied down defensively and shut a good team down when you are not scoring at all. And they're down to 16.7% from 3-point range, 31% from the floor.
Yeah, they are really struggling. And look, I mean, honestly, a big part of that's LeBron. LeBron's 2 of 11 from the field. He's missed all 3 threes that he's attempted. He's got 5 turnovers against 5 assists. All those assists came in the first quarter. LeBron has not had an assist since the first quarter. And this offense
Well,
is still
in
built
part because
around.
the Lakers haven't scored since the first
I
quarter.
know. No. But I'm saying in particular with LeBron, it goes hand in hand.
It's probably the reason why we're losing right now. That's why.
Indeed. So is the guy in the Lou jersey? Has he become just totally intolerable now?
I haven't spoken to him this whole time, to be honest with you.
How do you end up there? Like how'd that happen?
He's actually my sister's boyfriend's brother, so that's the only reason why he's
Wait,
here.
sister's boyfriend's
brother, and that's not good enough.
It sounds like that scene from Ferris Bueller.
I don't think you need to keep him near your setup.
That's why he's in the back corner over there.
Seriously. Well, if this lead gets up any higher, he might be actually outside the garage space.
That's true.
How long did it take to set that up?
Not too long. I didn't really do anything. Pretty much my family did it. But my uncle actually made these too. These are pretty cool.
Oh wow, that is cool actually.
Planters, I like that.
Yeah. And then my sister's boyfriend actually shot this last year.
Well, it seems like you're. Whoa.
Well, okay.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, it's a man patio / cave, So
it feels to me like your sister's boyfriend.
Up top.
Seems like your sister's boyfriend is bringing more to the table than the sister's boyfriend's friend.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't do nothing. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
He's like, all right, enough. I've heard enough. Those planners are awesome, man. Those are really cool. Your uncle did a good job.
Yeah. Thanks, I appreciate it.
No, those are sweet, man. Are you feeling confident they're going to get back in?
I don't know if it's confidence or if it's the Coors, one or the other. Hopefully they come back.
What's the difference?
Many nights in my life, those are the same thing.
I don't really drink Coors, but it's all we got, so can't complain.
Did I mention Coors is a sponsor?
Yes, Coors.
I'm kidding.
ESPN LA, Coors Light. There you go.
Champagne of beers.
Hey, big three from LeBron to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, that's needed, especially right out of that timeout. That's helpful.
Oh, cool. Oh, I guess I'm on a delay because LeBron just hit the three right now.
We can see the future.
All right, well, Roland, man, congratulations. It was
Thanks
cool
again.
meeting you. It was cool hanging out with you, and let's try to get this thing back on the rails. Otherwise, you're never going to stop hearing from your sister's boyfriend's friend.
And we will be giving away another one of those the sweatshirts. So
pay attention. Stay with us the whole time. Pace yourself with the Coors.
I got you.
All right, man. Good meeting
Appreciate
you.
it.
Take care, man.
You too. Thanks.
See ya. Oh, that's a nice play. That was nice. Good recovery by AD. The pass by KCP, not perfect, but they were pretty well synced up. All right, they've cut this lead like in half pretty quickly.
Oh, Pat Bev wants a foul, but
Pat Bev always wants a foul.
I think it was a foul on Pat Bev.
All right.
Hey, Wally.
Yeah. It'd be really nice to get this thing down to 3 or 4, like, in this type of a hurry. This quickly sort of settle the thing down.
Sure. So let's see here. So a lot of coups on Kawhi, and they got to shade him over. I wonder how much help you feel like you have to bring. It's interesting. It's a switch where Leonard ends up switch to Davis, benefits the Lakers. Oh, geez. I would literally disintegrate if Anthony Davis landed on me like that while I was trying to shoot a 3-pointer. But like if I'm the Clippers and I've got Kawhi being guarded by Kuz, and I know the switch is coming where he's going to be picked up by AD, I'd rather be just leave him on Kuz, wave the screen away.
Yeah.
So yeah, back up to 7. But the fun thing about these games, and what I think hopefully we'll get in the postseason, assuming they meet, is that it's each one of these games. I mean, you sort of have to throw out opening night, but even opening night, you can find it. It's easy to find things for either team where you're like, yeah, we lost, but we dominated this, or we did really well here, or whatever it might be. Neither team has. Oh, that is an unnecessary foul. Neither one of these teams has shown any real dominance or any real matchup advantage over the other. I mean, I think that people thought it was there. And the Clippers, I guess, had won that last game. Caruso kind of messing with his neck there after a really hard foul. Maybe if the Clippers or the Lakers don't win that last game, it becomes a different conversation. But
especially when it was part of such a big weekend for the Lakers, period.
Mm-hmm.
In the same weekend you take out the Bucks, it does change a lot of how you see this. But you're right, though. I mean, the Lakers were also the team that walked into that thing, needing that win in terms of the optics or maybe even the reality a lot more than the Clippers.
All right, so LeBron sits down, Lakers down by 6. Interesting to see when they bring him back, if it's at that 2-minute mark, give or take, as it sort of normally has been. And then obviously, what is the score when he comes back?
That's good. I thought actually for a second that was going to be a foul on Dion Waiters, but he managed to do that without actually picking up the foul. Yeah, I mean, holding serve in and of itself would be okay, but it would be nice to see them actually trim that lead a bit. But what they can't do is hemorrhage points. This is a lot of dribbling. Nice play, Kuzma. Just when I was about...
Better cut from Caruso.
It was, but...
Good look, but I mean...
Good awareness. I mean, because I thought Kuzma was dribbling himself into a lot of trouble, and he may have been. Caruso may have just bailed him out. But either way, nice work.
Still a good pass. Still saw him. Still did it.
Yeah. I mean, I think Caruso ultimately made a really smart play bailing him out. But doesn't matter. Points are the same. Hey, we've got ourselves a guest. Good, man. How are you? Harth Mateo, how are you?
I'm doing all right. The third quarter's got me a little nervous, but could be going.
Yeah, you and me both. Where are you from?
I'm from Huntington Beach, but I moved to Minneapolis last year. So,
wow, you really take your Laker fandom seriously. You go back.
I do.
You remember Mike?
I go to the team.
As far as you're concerned, it all began and ended with Mikan. Back in the
old Mikan.
I was going back to the roots,
Well, what? By the way, too, you're not missing much in Huntington Beach these days. What brought you to Minneapolis?
I got a job out here, so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, not the weather or anything like that.
No. Have you gotten used to it yet?
I mean, I've only been through one winter, and everybody was saying that it was like a pretty mild winter, according to them.
You know what most of us said when you moved to Minneapolis and you got that job. About damn time. About damn time he found one. Got off his butt.
That's exactly what it was.
Start working, start making something of himself.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, we were happy to see it.
Yeah.
Interesting. LeBron on the bench just there, looking like a guy who is not pleased with the way he's playing.
Yeah.
He doesn't look pleased with a lot that's happening right now, but I'm sure he's not happy with himself. What have been your biggest takeaways so far from this?
Well, for me, it seemed like in that first game when we played the Clippers at the beginning of the year, LeBron was trying to get everybody involved. And it seemed like he was trying to do that again at the beginning of this game. But it kind of backfired on us where he ended up not being as aggressive. And that's what we're kind of seeing now, where they just collapse on Davis every time the ball goes inside and nobody else knows what to do with it.
And you wonder, too, if maybe LeBron hasn't found his own rhythm because he's actually just been, like you said, looking for everyone else so much.
Right. But, I mean, some good signs. Like, I like the way Dion overall.
That's the type of shot. That's the type of shot that had people afraid when they signed Dion.
Bad Dion.
Yeah, I said that at the wrong time.
Yeah, but you see, like, this is what happens, without LeBron on the floor.
Yeah.
In terms of the shots that are created for everyone else, and that's a big three from Jermichael Green. Oof.
We're not making them pay on their turnovers either. I mean, they've had so many.
There are a couple ways you could look at this. And AD's about to go to the line. Can cut it down to 5.
Yeah.
The Lakers are shooting 18% from the 3-point line. They're 33% from the floor. Yeah. LeBron is 3 of 12, has 5 turnovers. Right. And they're only down, if AD makes these free throws, he made the first one, they're only down by
You know what? You forget about it because Anthony Davis has been going to the line so much, and in that sense, he's been, really efficient.
Yeah.
He's not shooting great either.
No.
5 of 14. Like, he's sort of, it's, I think, kind of flying under the radar because LeBron's been so extreme, and you're seeing these, extremities in other areas as well. Like, a lot of guys are not shooting well in this game at all.
Right.
AD quietly 22 points, but they're not efficient from the field, and that matters as well.
Yeah, it's very true.
So
good defense, Kuz.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
I'm on a little bit of a delay here, so I'm just a little bit behind.
One thing we've discovered actually is that none of us, I think, are watching this game at the exact same time. Like, I think a lot of it depends on who your carrier is and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on YouTube TV, so it's a little bit of a stream.
You're going to be happy in a few seconds.
All right, that's good.
Big 3 from Anthony Davis. Another assist for Kuz.
That's good.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I'm hoping that he plays consistently. If he can if he can knock down threes and not take bad shots.
Dude,
being a third option would be great.
If Kuzma plays consistently well, they're a different team. Absolutely. Like that's their next potential.
Yep.
Back-to-back threes from Anthony Davis. The Lakers have the lead.
Oh, thank God. That's huge.
Just as we were saying, he wasn't hitting shots.
Yeah.
You mentioned who the better 3-point shooters on this team are. KCP just passed up a 3 so he could give it to.
Well, dude, AD before the break was killing it from behind the arc. He was shooting. I'm going to pull up the numbers. The last 10 games before the break. I'm going to pull this up. Anthony Davis was really shooting well from behind the arc. There's good, Dion. Anthony Davis is shooting 41% over his last 10 games before the season got suspended.
Yeah, that's awesome. Vogel was telling him to take 5 a game, even though he was missing in the beginning of the year, and it paid off. So,
see that they keep ending up with Caruso on Jermichael Green, and that's tough for him.
Yeah,
like he's given up a lot of inches and like a lot of release there. It's going to be hard for him to cover that.
Yeah.
They keep ending up with that. Oh, he checked from AD.
Noting that neither Paul George or Kawhi are playing right now.
Yeah.
That's true.
And they've got a couple dudes that.
How many have the Clippers?
This is where the social justice messaging on the jerseys becomes problematic, because there's some guys on the floor for the Clippers that I need help with.
Anthony Davis starting to heat up.
Heard you saying he was inefficient, Andy. Now look what happened.
Well, you know what? Everybody, all the Laker fans watching right now, you're welcome.
Yep. You know who else we're thankful for? You, Andy, and our friends at Pizza Hut.
I was just going to say our friends at Pizza Hut.
Kitchens safely open, serving large pizzas with 3 toppings for $9.99. Order delivery or carry out at pizzahut.com.
How's your food treating you?
Yeah, you guys talk about that because I realized I got to close the garage.
How's your food there treating you there, Mark?
It was good. You know, they made it work because I'm all the way in Minneapolis, so they figured out a way to get.
Did they?
Yeah, they made it work. They figured out a way to get the store over here to get the pizzas to me, and
that's awesome, man. That's really cool. When I asked you that, I'd forgotten you are in Minneapolis. Like I don't know how complicated it is to coordinate all that, but that's cool, man. They came through.
Yeah,
all right, so the Lakers had been down by double digits. It's now a 1-point game. So, and it's weird to say this, they managed to hold serve without LeBron and actually cut down that lead. But the way LeBron's playing in this game, you wonder if actually it might be a little bit. It's bizarre to say,
right?
But the way he's playing right now, maybe it's a little bit easier without LeBron.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's got 5 turnovers or something like that.
Yeah, he had 5 assists after the first quarter. He's still sitting on 5 assists.
Oh boy, yeah. See, that's unusual.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is guys also not hitting shots, but some of it is, like you said, he's got 5 turnovers now.
Yep.
I think he only had 1 after the first quarter.
Yeah.
So, he's been uncharacteristic, especially because in the scrimmages, he looked good.
He did.
He looked really good.
He was going full force. I mean, I loved it. Didn't expect it, but that was awesome.
Well, I mean, look, man, LeBron has, you can tell from the minute he entered the bubble, or even before the bubble, when he made it clear, I have no intentions of not being a part of this. I absolutely think that we can maintain our focus on these different social issues and we can make sure that our messaging is on point. But I'm going to be in this bubble.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm not going to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And he's had that focus this whole year. I mean, his leadership this year has been fantastic. And to be honest, I said many times last season, I don't think it was particularly good at all. But this year, he's been terrific. He's been absolutely fantastic.
Oh, this is the thing with the girl from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and
really good looking.
Travolta as a baddie, bald baddie.
Yeah, you guys know how it is when you don't close the garage. You get some combination of thieves and varmints. I don't want to eat one of those things. Yeah, if you're really unlucky, you end up with both. It's true.
A varmint with a record?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Over here, you leave it open, you just get a bunch of snow and rain piled in. So.
Oh, I was going to...
Have nobody made you move there, Parth?
Have you been to a Laker game in Minneapolis?
No, I was planning on going, but they were going to play in April or something, so it was post shutdown. So I was planning on going to the game, but then.
Do you catch a lot of Laker fans out there?
No.
Okay, because they travel so well, you know, and the fan base represents so well.
I got to say, the people that I know here are fairly loyal to their Minnesota sports teams. As bad as the Timberwolves are, I mean, they'll ride or die with them. So.
Well, you get to watch D'Lo again, though.
Yeah, exactly.
On a regular basis. All right, man. Well, congratulations on winning, and it was fun meeting you, and we really appreciate, as always, the listenership, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. All right, let's
take care. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
All right, 12 minutes left. Lakers down by 1 point, Andy. 12 minutes left. That means it's the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you know what we were talking about before, and it's weird to say, but the Lakers managing to actually cut into that lead with LeBron on the bench, it's unusual, but the way LeBron's been playing in this game, it sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
It's really unusual to say that, but he's been uncharacteristically since that first, he's been uncharacteristically ineffective. He just hasn't played well.
I actually think he has lost it.
Kuz has had some good defensive moments.
Mm-hmm.
Kuz he's had a few good moments defensively in this game.
Yeah, he's played a nice game. So the Lakers picked it up a little tiny bit with the scoring in the third quarter, but still not proficient in that way. And,
No.
those two AD threes pushed their three-point percentage up to 25%. But you
Probably
take AD
double
out of
that.
that. Take AD out of that, and it's slim pickings since Kuz hit an early one, and shooting generally in this game has been pretty bad.
I was going to say it helps that the Clippers seem to be trying to imitate them because they have not been shooting particularly well either. Dion Waiters giving the Lakers back the lead now, driving to the cup. Like, that was much better than that other shot earlier in the third. There was a lot of Dion dribbling before. It's also two in this game, and this is the way I felt it was shaking out. We were seeing from the scrimmages, but confirmed what I thought. Dion's the fourth guard. Like, J.R. Smith, I think, is going to be getting very sporadic minutes.
You would think that it would be Waiters before. Well, look, there's a reason they signed Waiters when they signed both of those guys.
Yeah.
They signed Waiters before.
But especially with Rondo out. I mean, Dion's a much stronger ball handler. You know, when he wants to be, he's a better playmaker than JR.
Better player.
Yeah. Certainly at this stage of his career. Plus, Dion's got a lot to play for. Like, you know, Dion's trying to prove to the rest of the league that you should hire him. Or to the Lakers.
28 years old.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, LZ and I were talking about that earlier this morning. He seems like he'd be older just because he's been around in the league for so long. But yeah, he's only 28. He's still in his prime. And, you know, he's in danger of washing out. I mean, Dion comes with some perception. Yeah, actually, I think Reggie Miller's right. They don't call that nearly as often as they could because they'd like the games to finish.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Clippers felt pretty confident. You really want to redo this? Okay.
That thing was shot out of a cannon.
Oh, my God. That was
much touch there from Dwight.
No. Ooh.
I had no idea what to make of this game. It's been so raggedy, and, you know, two guys are missing that are critically important for the Clippers. LeBron has been bad.
Right.
That's not normal.
Dion Waiters hitting a triple, putting the Lakers up 2. I mean, these have been some good moments for Dion. Like they've needed him. All right.
Yep.
Big basket for Kuzma. That's a big basket for Kuz.
So 2 big threes for the Lakers after they have not been able to hit anything. So Kuzma, this is the sort of game that if Kuzma can give it to him consistently, kind of puts him in that place where everybody's been hoping to put him for the entire season, which is reliable third weapon, you know, shooter.
He's currently sitting on 13, 5, and 2. Like, you know, if he can bump that up to by the time the whole thing's done to around
15 or 16,
16, 7, and 3, they'll take that in a heartbeat. And the Lakers, they become a different team. Like if he's doing it efficiently, if he's doing it judiciously, they become a different team. I mean, there's a reason it gets harped on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it really matters. Like there's nobody on this team. I mean, I guess maybe the best version of Dion possible. There's nobody else on this team with the potential upside
So yeah, no, you're
to
right.
do as many things as Kuzma.
So how do you want to give away this sweatshirt?
Well, we went trivia last time, and Roland got greedy. Roland, if you're paying attention, you wanted that hoodie. So this is the moment. How should we give it away? Should I look at? I think is there some trivia involving hoodie? You know what? I'm going to try to find some build feats of strength, virtual feats of strength.
Yes.
Like some trivia about hoodies, Bill Belichick trivia.
I'm really open to anything at this point, to be honest.
No, I know. No, it's become very clear you're going to leave me to my own devices on this.
Yeah, when I said, how do you want to give away this hoodie? I mean,
No. You meant literally me. I got it.
How do you, Andy, want to give away this hoodie? Because, you know.
Let me think. Is this Donovan?
No.
Sounds like fake Donovan.
Every Donovan song ever.
God, if you're cut rate Donovan, it has not gone well for you. Think about how to go about giving out this hoodie. Okay, here we go. We're going to pay off not just listenership, but specifically listenership of us, because at the end of the day, nothing matters more than us, Brian.
That's true.
What is the Kamenetzky Brothers
particularly
theme?
Me.
What is the Kamenetzky Brothers theme song? What is the name of the song? What is the artist? If you can name this, it's the theme song. You hear it all the time when we're on air. It was the theme song for our old podcast. It's consistently what we use. If you can name this, you get the hoodie. And it's an awesome hoodie. You want this thing. So think back. We're going to really pay off the loyalists on this right now.
The Hoopery hoodie.
The Hoopery hoodie. I'm sorry.
The Hoodery, though, actually is a great name for a hoodie company.
That is. I'm going to create that as a. My apologies. I've been up since 5:30, Brian. So I'm a little punchy.
Whatever.
A little punchy. But yes, it is the Hoopery.
Still got to be.
It is the Hoopery.
Still got to be professional.
My bad. My apologies to the Hoopery. But for real, you want this bad boy. It is awesome. Am I in frame?
And while that's happening, no, it is not Barbie Girl by Aqua, Jeff. You win nothing.
No, you win nothing. Like, we should kick you out.
Reminder, when this thing's over, you can go over to 710 ESPN and post-game show with Alan Sleewa.
The Slee.
All the post-game news.
And then after that, because you can never have too much coverage, too much thoughts, you go over to the late night happy hour with us because, the Kamenetzky Brothers, we never close.
That's right. We're like Captain Munchies.
That's a deep cut.
It is.
Okay. Los Real Ali West or Los Real Ali West, either or. One of our buddies.
Both of you.
He's a loyalist on Twitter. He's got it correct. Machine Gun by the Commodores. You win. You win, and that's a good one to win, man.
You know who loses, Andy?
Who?
Greedy Roland.
Yes, Greedy Roland. Although, both of us like Highway to Hell.
Yeah, that's true.
Boogie Wonderland, Nathan Mark threw out there. Love the song, but that is not our theme song. Nice job. Nice job.
Someone's theme song, just not
Los Real Ali, if he's a soccer fan. Congratulations, man. Now we know him. He's a Kamenetzky brother loyalist.
Yeah, no, that's why we ask specific questions about ourselves.
Yes.
So don't hang up. We'll get your information.
Carlo's going to get it.
Very quietly, the Lakers are up by 8.
Yes.
Like,
ever since I said that Anthony Davis needs to pick it up. Again, Laker fans, you're welcome. Oh, that's big. That's a big shot. Danny Green 3 in transition. That's a big
It's
shot.
amazing how much, Lakers 4 or 5 from 3-point range this quarter. It just is amazing how, when you make a shot or two, how different the game looks. And the shooting was so bad in the middle 2 quarters.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was atrocious.
The Clippers, by the way, have shot the ball horribly tonight as well.
Yeah. Where you wonder, too, if you really miss a guy like Lou Williams who can be a bad shot maker for the Clippers. Dion with the assist, too, to Danny Green. Like, again, these are the things that Dion can do that they're looking to try to replicate, that absence with Rajon Rondo. Because, Rondo, for all his faults, and there are a lot of them, he can at least find guys.
Ooh. Foul on the floor. How's that a foul on Dwight? Kawhi's got his arm hooked.
I think that's what Dwight's asking. I believe that's what he'd like to know as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Jeff wants to know, would we perhaps consider Barbie Girl by Aqua in the future?
I mean, never say never.
Yeah, that's true.
What kind of show?
That's true. I mean, it's got to fit. You got to make sure it actually fits the show. But anything is possible.
Carlo, are we allowed to play music on this thing?
I don't know. You should ask Carlo.
That's why I said Carlo.
Oh, I didn't hear you say. Kuz.
That.
That's another big shot for Kuzma. He's up at it's 16.
That's hard to do.
Carlos says we can play it, but not very long.
Right.
Oh, geez, LeBron.
Oh, miss the bunny. I mean, it may not be a bunny with that many people around you, but still.
It's just not his night tonight. This has just not been LeBron's night. Kuz this has been a good game for Kuzma.
Yeah.
Kuzma's had a nice game. They really need this. He's tied with Waiters for the plus minus right now. He's a plus 19. Both of them. I mean, this.
There's a -1 at the half. So.
Yeah, this has been a really good game for Kuzma. That's feeling personal.
Do we have anything else to give away? No, I think that was it.
I think that's
people are fed. They've eaten their Pizza Hut.
They've got their hoopery hoodies.
That's right.
I'm tired. I'm very, very tired. My apologies.
They've had their pizza.
They've had their pizza from
Presumably
Pizza Hut.
they went out at halftime and had their oil changed. The Valvoline instant oil change.
15 minutes. You actually can't. Assuming you live close enough, you can get in and out back.
Run to the car. Get your keys. Run to the car.
Man, Tom Hanks.
I watched that actually. It was okay. It's the rare movie that needs to be 20 minutes longer.
Tom Hanks loves him a World War II movie.
He really does. I was listening to a podcast with him. He said when he gets older and starts to kind of lose his faculties, he's going to insist that he actually did fight in World War II. He'll demand a state funeral.
He still remains like one of the 5 most likable people on the planet. Like Tom Hanks remains just the best. Remember when he early in the pandemic, when he got COVID, he was like, him and Gobert and his wife were like the 3 first high profile people to get it. Like he was basically like reassuring the rest of us as he's gotten this thing that at the time, like we barely understood. Like, it was, I'm not saying it isn't scary now. It is, but back then especially, it was really frightening. And, like Tom Hanks is calming all of us down. He's just the best.
That's what he does.
He's the hero that we don't deserve, but we definitely need. Blue Meanie said he was going to guess the Benny Hill theme.
That could have worked.
Yeah. Hey, the old school guys, you remember Shrimp on a Treadmill? That was with the Benny Hill theme. Tom Hanks would win the election. I'd vote for him.
Oh, I like that fried chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you, I don't think I've ever would have fast food delivered to me.
You got to live super close.
You live so close to it.
You have to live super close. Like, not to disparage the good people from all those delivery services, but it's got to be.
No, I'm not saying don't use.
No. I'm just saying I'm saying not to disparage their ability
or whatever, but
I'm saying not to disparage their ability to get it there, post haste. I'm just saying it's got to be super quick, or it's not going to work. Jeff now on the Periscope is singing the Jeffersons theme.
Oh, good song.
It is a good song. This is a very strange angle. It's a very strange camera angle.
Not sure it's very helpful.
And
it looks like a rock and jock game.
Honestly, it looks like they dropped the camera. Thank you. Get it back. Yeah, as Los Real Ali West points out, you get the soggy fries after 5 in the delivery. Grant LA pointing out rightly, fast food goes bad after 5 minutes. Man. That's why Lou Williams should have just had it catered at his house. Like Magic City would have brought it all to him.
For sure. Still not as good as getting it straight from the kitchen, though.
No, it's not. I know, I get it, but again, we are in a pandemic. You are going back to a bubble.
Yeah, I mean, there were certain.
By the way, Lou Williams, you can tell, has absolutely zero regrets over this whatsoever. He's like, I'd do it again.
It doesn't seem remorseful.
No, Lou is just. I mean, we covered Lou when he was with the Lakers, and it's good dude. He is one of the chillest athletes I've ever been around. Like that guy loses sleep over nothing.
Yeah, he's pretty secure in his Lou-ness.
And he also he walks to his own very specific drummer. A drummer that managed to have 2 live-in girlfriends.
Pretty impressive drummer.
It is. Caruso coast to coast.
Now Lakers up by 9. 5 minutes left. We're about 2 minutes away from Doc pulling the plug on this bad boy.
We keep looking for Doc to give up.
It's just sort of what happens. So it looks at least like all's well that ends well here. There's the great start, bookended with a great finish, some not so great stuff in between, but all the people on the Clippers watch party right now are talking about the fact that the Clippers are only shooting 40%, and they're not getting massive production, at least efficient production from up and down the roster.
Ooh, Just as you say that, Kawhi hits that three.
That's right.
Cuts it down to 6. It's interesting though. I mean, like Kawhi, it's funny. Kawhi's had a pretty good game, like in terms of his offensive efficiency. 22 points on 8 of 13 shooting, 4 of 8 from 3. But it's felt quiet. Yeah, it's felt very quiet.
7 of 16.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading Paul George. Apologies. Paul has felt. They both actually felt pretty quiet.
Yeah, Kawhi almost never has a loud 30 though. Like all of his 30s are just like him.
Yeah, but there are times though when it feels like that 30, like he's really just enveloping a game, and AD needs to really pick that thing up. Like those 32 points.
I'm actually. I love my hoopery sweatshirt. It's also warm.
I was going to say you got to take it off.
Yeah. I hope I'm wearing a shirt underneath though.
You think you hope, and promise you everybody watching this hopes. Now they got 33 points in this game from Kuzma, Waiters, and Caruso.
Turns out I am.
Yeah, that's again fortunate for everyone. You bump that thing to like 37, 38. Dwight maybe puts up 5 points as opposed to 1. They'll take that.
What?
They'll definitely take that.
Get
So they got 33 combined points right now from Kuzma, Waiters, and Caruso.
Oh yeah.
Bump that to around 40. They'll take that. Yeah.
And look at the State Farm sign behind the backboard, how it moves, but did it hit Paul George's hand and go up and hit the sign here? The call on the floor is Clipper's ball. Is there enough to overturn here? Kind of hard to see if the ball ever touches Paul George's hand and deflects up.
That's a weird sequence. That's a very weird sequence.
This all looks like hockey.
Did it touch Paul George's hands and deflect up and hit the sign? Because this is a huge call here. Because the way the Clippers have been shooting here in this fourth quarter before they cut this to a one-possession game with a 3.
I mean, if it didn't hit it, it's clearly out on Kawhi.
Reggie, you mentioned now State Farm.
Huh.
So Clipper ball. Unsuccessful challenge. Are you saying State Farm? I'm going to say it's trying to get more money for the company. It's not going to work. They have money to apply. It's not every time you say the name. You can't get change. You can't use all the company man. You know what I'm saying? All company man.
Oh. Stop here. And it starts to get a little squeezier. Because again, nobody wants overtime. That's really what we're all rooting against, is overtime.
Yes, we are all rooting against overtime.
Swapping inside will pick up the foul for the Los Angeles Lakers. 3.5 to go. So a 6-point deficit for the Clippers, who led by 11 after the Clippers trailed by 13. So here's Kawhi at the line, 9 of 10 tonight. Stay tuned later tonight for Inside presented by.
Yeah, we'll see how this game turns out. The winner, if the Lakers end up winning, obviously that basically makes the number 1 seed. If there was any question, there really shouldn't be. If there's any question, it's just a wrap at that point. But beyond that, like just the
you had this thing though all sewed up. I think you're projecting that you want it done. The way you keep talking, Doc's gonna fold it up. He's gonna.
If the Lakers had a 7,
he's gonna wave the white flag. Like I think you're just projecting you want it
the
done.
Lakers had a 7 or 8 or 9 point lead with 3 minutes left. Damn right he would have.
There's a lot of projection going on.
Hopefulness at the very least. So you got Kawhi guarding LeBron.
Alex Caruso taking over. LeBron and AD getting out of his way, just as we all said would happen.
Exactly.
Caruso's like, I got this. LeBron, just relax.
Step back, my friend.
Alex Caruso, who is from College Station, Texas, went to Texas A&M, undrafted player, batting on the first free throw. Now, if the Lakers go on to win tonight, LeBron James will move past Kobe Bryant all-time regular season wins.
Huh, that's interesting. LeBron would be moved past Kobe in all-time regular season wins in the NBA.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, they've both done a lot of winning, man. Oh, I almost said LeBron just got away with one there. Let's see what happened. Actually, they're both kind of hooking each other.
This is a Lakers home game, so you can just imagine if we were in Staples Center, the crowd that we're doing right now. Of course, that's the element.
Oh, big miss.
You've got a team like the Philadelphia 76ers who are so down and wrong. Around the world, something like this means you would travel, stay away for weeks or months.
Ugh. Okay. Huge possession here. 4-point lead for the Lakers.
Nice work there defensively by LeBron. Setting up that charge so he had to give up the ball, then bothering the shot. That was really good work by LeBron there. Defensively, that was huge.
I'll go back and watch that again. Oh, you know who I want to thank, Andy?
Let me guess. Our guys over at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. To keep the ESPN listeners' rides in peak performance, visit SoCalOilChange.com for location. Slam dunk savings off your next service. Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Yes.
Did I guess correctly?
That was them.
That was them. I do declare Valvoline Instant Oil Change the best.
All right, so now this is the down the stretch lineup here. 5-point lead for the Lakers. KCP out, Kuz in, looking probably for a little more bulk, a little more size. So, to presumably to make it a little easier to match with switches on Kawhi. So you don't know with KCP on him.
Oh. Ooh. AD a little too long there.
Little pump fake here. Look at that. Left foot. He may have traveled as well. Clippers are plus 12 in points off turnovers tonight. Kawhi. The dance, Kuzma defends.
Not nice work by Kuzma defensively there on Kawhi.
Bad luck, but good play.
Bad luck, but really nice work there by Kuz.
15 leads here by the Clippers. Down one. George at 24, Leonard with 28. We got a 1-point game with a minute and a half to go in regulation. LeBron against Green. Shot clock at 6. No help here. LeBron puts it up and 2 points.
All right. LeBron James when you need him. He did dye his beard.
Vain.
He dyed his beard. That's disappointing.
Oh, great play.
Oh, nice play, Caruso. Nice play. Man, the Lakers seem determined to turn the ball over as many times as possible to make this interesting. Nice play, Caruso. We've had some good moments in this game from role players defensively.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
Well, I mean,
Kuzma.
you'd expect that. I mean, maybe less from Kuzma generally, just because they've been, they've had good moments all season that way. But it's really they're winning this one on the defensive side.
Chance the Rapper likes Caruso. Just tweeted out Caruso with 7 O's.
Do that hockey.
Clippers won by 10, Kawhi with 3. Christmas, the Lakers trailing and losing by 5. Kawhi cutting 35. And then March 8th, as the Clippers, the home team, the Lakers won that by 9. LeBron with 28 points, minus his.
That was probably the most definitive of. I mean, was that a more definitive win that game than the opening night game? So that needs to go down. That's why the Lakers have Danny Green. That needs to go down.
Repeat the question you asked again about the definitive game.
Was the Lakers win in that third game more definitive than the Clippers opening night win?
Yes, because the Lakers, had barely had a preseason. They spent all that time with the drama in China, and teams, whenever they end up going overseas, it never helps because you lose so much practice time, flying back and forth. So yeah, I do think that Game 3 win was more definitive. I'm not saying that Game 3 win makes them better than the Clippers.
Right.
I'm just saying I think that Game 3 win means something more than the Game 1 win. Like if you want to argue about which game means more between 2 or 3, fine. But I think Game 3 is much more important than Game 1. I didn't take, frankly, anything away from that Game 1.
No, not much.
So close. That is so close. Also, an opening game, Reggie, the think about 4 months off, we've seen obviously the things that would always hinder the beginning of the season. Since talking and turnover, we have the turnovers for both teams, but we're seeing some quality play from a Jesse.
I think it's going to be Clipper ball.
I think this may be overturned. So they continue to look at it. Again, these are the 2 top teams in the conference. Western Conference in 5.5 games, separately coming in. Clippers just an 8.5 lead on 3 seed Denver. And with the loss, obviously the Nuggets would move closer. 40.8 seconds to play in regulation.
Yeah, they're talking about the Nuggets there. The Nuggets aren't really the important team for the Clippers, at least in terms of how it relates to the Lakers. And when you see them, it's really the Jazz. And the Jazz won tonight, so that would eat into that cushion that the Clippers have between them and the 4 seed. Because the 4 is really the number the Clippers want to avoid. In addition to having a harder first-round matchup, you get the Lakers in the second. So, all right, gentlemen, let's make a decision here.
Yeah, come on now. It's game 1 of the restart, gents. Let's figure this out.
Okay. That's what I said.
Eleven threes by the Lakers, 15 threes, and 44% shooting from distance for the Clippers. No need to go for a 3. Plenty of time here. Quality shot. If you're Doug Rivers and the Clippers, here we go. Here comes Leonard. He has gone 3 of 5 from shooting. Here's George. He's gone 5 of 5.
Oh! Oh!
No timeouts. Just play it out.
Come on.
Oh, my God.
Oh!
Wow.
At the other end, LeBron, 2 terrific all-stars, superstars, making their imprint on this one. Paul George going for the quick 2 for 1 to tie this ball up. Nice little step back 3 here for PG-13.
That's a really good shot.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good shot by Paul George.
He's another guy that nobody's quite 100% confident in what he looked like during the playoffs. But if he is, he had a stretch last year where he was the best player in the league. Or playing.
Yes, but his playoff history is all over the map.
Mm-hmm.
It is all over the place. And I know I've said this before, but I maybe it's because I want to be the guy who does like the oral history of the documentary. Some type of piece about Paul George's place in recent NBA history is fascinating. Like he's been such an impactful player, like for so many different franchises and like their fortunes and the directions they've gone over the last like 4 or 5 years. It's pretty fascinating. Like sort of the 6 degrees of Paul George and the domino effect, like butterfly effect he's had.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Paul George has scored the last 8 points for the Clippers. LeBron has got 7 in the quarter, 9 in the first 3 quarters.
All right. 10.
You see the clock. LeBron
Good defense. Oh,
There you go.
3-101 Lakers win. Great defense over the last 10 seconds. Paul George wants a foul. He's not going to get it.
LeBron had a couple big defensive moments down the stretch of this game. For a game that he did not play well. Yes, they did.
Cranked it up at the end. And yeah, this is where LeBron, when he wants to be one, is still one of the better defenders in the league. And all right, so there you go. I'm not sure if we learned a whole lot from this game, but it was fun. It was good to have basketball back. It was good to have Lakers versus Clippers. And this is going to set up for a really fun tournament, because watching this was just like really watching anything else. And these are good teams, and I'm excited that they're back.
And by the way, too, for all intents and purposes, the Lakers have locked up the number 1 seed. It's over now. They've got the seed. Something truly bizarre would have to happen at this point for the Lakers not to get it. It's over.
Post-game show coming up next on 710 ESPN, and I think the social feeds as well with Alan Sliwa. And Andy, you'll be on the air tomorrow at 6 a.m. Which
yes, of course.
With
who needs sleep?
On the morning show,
sleep. So. Yeah, we're obviously talking about all this. Got a whole day's worth of coverage, all that going on. And don't forget the late night happy hour starring us. Again, when am I going to sleep?
All right.
Bill Oram from The Athletic joining us. Who else? Jovan Buha?
Maybe Johan, but we're not sure because this game
took
5 minutes longer than it was supposed to.
That's true.
All right.
All right. See you, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for swinging by. Appreciate